Doug, you tell me you wouldn't want to see a picture of Iggy and Leona Helmsley?
I don't think anyone would want to see that.
Was she ever in her prime?
She wouldn't. She would
Or
probably
did she
would.
just turn
Probably.
100?
There's no way she'd have let me take a picture anyway.
Sorry, had to get rid of the free dotem guy, whoever that might be.
She was the
our
queen of
listeners
Maine.
ended games post-game show.
Well, stop talking.
Well, how old was Leona when you were with her?
I don't know, 60-something, I guess.
Yeah.
Nice.
Queen of Mean.
I think it was
That's what
right
they
before.
called her.
I think it was right before she went to jail.
Nice.
Well, you've had some experience with jailbirds as well. You had a pen pal in prison for a while, didn't you?
I'm not telling that story again.
Oh.
Anything you bring up that I've already talked about, I'm never going to mention it again.
Well, sometimes, you go back 6 or 7 years last time you told it, and listeners cycle on and they cycle off.
They do. They cycle on and cycle off.
Well, go back and listen to an old podcast if you want to hear the prison mate story.
Get him a fight.
Presentation is a Barrett Sports Media production.
Maybe I'll be on his podcast one day.
Guys, I'm just waiting for the next Pepper and Genie topic to be what are your favorite stories from hedonism, and then that way he completely controls the entire 25-minute episode without a word from Plowsy. That's from Mr. Licks, and Doug, he is a big-time critic of Pepper and Genie, but he seems to be a listener.
He downloads it every day.
Well, we enjoy the stories, Iggy. That's why we ask. It's like, tell us another story, Dad.
You turned me on to Cheryl Dilcher about a year ago.
Well, I'm glad I did. I turn people onto a lot of music here, but nobody gives me credit.
What kind of credit do you want?
Saying that they enjoy the music instead of lying and saying, more trash music. And I haven't done it in like 6 months now. The 9 o'clock hour.
It's been a while since the station paid homage to you, too, with balloons or a cake or anything.
God forbid they let you cook a Caesar salad.
I've asked that a few times.
That's out. Yep.
Guys, since you're retelling stories, can you get Iggy to tell the story again about calling his sister-in-law lover? Thanks. That's from I didn't carry Instagrams with me in my pocket.
No, I'm not telling that either.
No.
You want employees like me, Plowsy.
Why?
When we think of a real estate agent, we think of somebody simply selling our home or finding us a new one. I mean, they're all the same, right?
Okay, here's the comps. We'll take some pics, we'll post them, and I'll get back to you, okay?
A home is life-changing, and your real estate agent should reflect that. Honesty, integrity, and someone who will go above and beyond to make your dreams come true.
The Jeff Lotman Group with Compass Realty. We're different because you're different. We want what you want. Experience the difference today at jefflotman.com, bringing people and properties together.
TMA listeners have a lot to think through financially. Saving for retirement and college while also paying bills and enjoying life along the way. Call Mark Hanna. Mark works with you to design a strategy to do your finances right. It's a straightforward approach that starts with a 15-minute phone call to discuss your needs. Visit evergreenstl.com or give Mark a call at 314-889-0503 today. Mark Hanna offers securities through Equitable Advisors, LLC, member FINRA, SIPC, a broker-dealer. Equitable Advisors, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Evergreen Wealth Strategies is not a registered investment advisor and is not owned or operated by Equitable Advisors or Equitable Network.
Biggie's Restaurant and Bar has been a staple of the community for over 30 years and is serving your favorites like the steak sandwich, waffle fries, and so much more. It's not just the food that's rocking. With a full bar and patio, Biggie's is the perfect spot for lunch, dinner, and a little laughter. Biggie's original hours are back. Open 11 a.m. till midnight, Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday. And 11 a.m. till 1 a.m. on Friday and Saturday. Check out the full menu at biggiesrestaurant.com and stop in today.
I get asked all the time by people, if I'm in an accident, what should I do? And while yes, you should call the police, exchange insurance information, and take pictures of the scene, all those things are important. But the most important thing you need to do is hire a personal injury lawyer. This is Doug Biggs from Longo Biggs Injury Law. And if you've been hurt by someone else's negligence, don't take on the insurance company yourself. Insurance companies have teams of people and a playbook designed to keep you running in circles so they can pay you as little money as possible for your accident claim. If you don't have a lawyer, they know you can't bring your claim to court, and they will never give you full value. We recently took an offer from an insurance company without a lawyer on the case from $12,000 to $200,000. You can't get that kind of result without an attorney on your case. Even if you don't hire us, you need to hire a personal injury attorney. Check us out online at longobigs.com.
The Illinois Recovery Center is dedicated to providing precise and authentic care to those seeking help and treatment. Recovery, it's not just a goal, it's a transformative journey. At Illinois Recovery Center, you'll find an unwavering commitment to provide the support, guidance, and personalized care you or your loved one needs to rediscover a life filled with purpose, strength, and lasting renewal. If you or someone you know wants more information about the Illinois Recovery Center, please call 888-472-9559 or visit IllinoisRecoveryCenter.com. Hey, this is Tim McKernan, and I am here with Seth Goldcamp of Design Air Heating and Cooling, and I have been a long-time Design Air client. What separates you guys from everybody else?
It's becoming more common for companies to just get their foot in the door. They try to come up with different ways to upsell. They try to see how much they can make off of a customer as opposed to, hey, we're in there to do a service. We're going to do it well. We're going to do it for a fair price.
I don't know how many emails I have received from our listeners who experience the incredible customer service Design Air Heating and Cooling provides. It's Design Air Heating and Cooling, online at designairservice.com. Hey, this is Tim McKernan, and I am here with James Carlton, who also happens to be my insurance agent. And I am telling you firsthand that your staff is on top of it right away.
Is there a team in St. Louis that cares more about their clients? And I'll double down that there's not. What we do on a daily basis is coach and educate our customers on available discounts and the appropriate coverage to match their needs.
I can tell you firsthand the best, and I'm so happy I made the switch. And when you switch, they do all the paperwork for you. It's James Carlton, 314-961-4800, or go online at carltoninsurance.net.
The choice of a lawyer is important and shouldn't be based on an ad.
After a serious car accident, people have two questions. Why me and what now? Well, no one knows why you, but I'm Terry Crouppen, and my law firm Brown & Crouppen sure can help with the what now. Car repairs, medical bills, lost wages, pain and suffering. We're Brown & Crouppen, and we've got all those answers. All you have to do is call 222-2222.
Live from the Michelob Ultra Studios, KPN-TFM HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis. This is TMA All Day. Rise and shine, St. Louis. It's the Brown & Crouppen Morning After on KPN-TFM HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis. At the Morning After STL on YouTube and on TMASTL.com with Tim McKernan, Doug Vaughn, Iggy Strode, The Plowboy, and Action Jackson.
7:07 in St. Louis. You're listening to TMA. It's presented to you by Brown & Crouppen. Welcome, friends, to the Munganess, St. Louis Acura, Munganess Burkhardt, Alton Toyota, 7 o'clock hour. Timothy Michael McKernan, Douglas Sullivan Vaughn, Kenneth Iggy Strode, the Plowhawk, and Action Jackson with you on a program that solicits your involvement in the Jeff Lotman Compass Realty. Text inbox 314-881-TMA5. Your emails for the Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day. Blueberry Pop is undefeated so far this month, Doug. Undefeated.
Well,
could he win them all?
I don't think so.
Above the porch. Blueberry Pop, the morning after at InsideSTL.com for the Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day. And Doug, while you were in the Hamptons, the phone lines are now sponsored by Collier & Thompson.
Yeah, I see that. Isn't that wonderful?
It is. That's a great place.
Yeah, they're also one of our new big sponsors.
Yeah, and that led to phone calls like the Dickens on Munsbin to celebrate Collier & Thompson's sponsorship of the phone line, 636-9004-TMA. But I say that like you didn't know it. I know you were streaming while you were at Jackson's parents' place on Long Island.
Believe it or not, a couple times in the car, my son turned on the show.
You probably scolded him right then and there.
I did. I said, this is not the right thing to do. He's in Tampa. A couple times driving to the golf course, he would turn it on. And I would thought, my God, who would listen to this stuff?
You can pick us up in Tampa?
Nice.
You can off the phone app. Yeah.
Oh, the phone app. You said in the car he turned it on. I thought you meant the radio.
It was a car radio through his phone app.
Okay,
then you go Bluetooth from the phone to the car radio.
I know nothing about that.
Well, I'm sorry, but it still works.
So you know that it cost him $150 to get 3 calls. He had a pair.
Oh, I didn't hear all 3 hours of it. I'm saying I listened. I did hear some.
Oh, you missed a lot.
I heard caller Steve on there for what seemed like a half an hour.
He was on, and he took Iggy. Plowboy, were you taking a task, or was it mainly Iggy?
I mean, he took me to talk about Ackerman, and I said, I said, I mean, I was 6:15, obviously, I'm kind of a troll, so I accepted the beating.
Did you?
I was fine with it.
All right.
I don't mind Steve.
Yeah. You would think after all the years listening to the show he would get it by now, but I guess not.
Steve just took a hit right there.
He did.
Yeah, right at
Hello, good morning.
7-Eleven.
He did.
Steve, you can call in. Anybody can call in. Collier & Thompson phone line, 636-9004-TMA. for TMA. Jeremy Rutherford will join us a little earlier today because he's got a flight. And Doug, you said he's going to New Jersey? Is he flying into Newark, you think?
I don't know where he's flying into.
Have you flown into all 3 New York area airports? Make it 4 because of course we fly into Teterboro.
Yeah, private. I guess I have. Yeah, all 3. I suppose so. More times into Newark than I would have watched.
I know. I've done some Newarking as well. I don't think I've ever been to JFK, but I hear LaGuardia has been redone and is now one of the best airports in the country after being one of the worst. Yeah.
Well, our Lambert's right up there with the best. Holy smokes!
You just flew back in and you were telling us how impressive it is. You know, there's 2 baggage carousels now. There's 2
for Southwest,
and they're automatic. So like your bag can come out on a carousel themselves.
On the way out there was barely enough room in the waiting area to fit the people that were standing in line to get on the plane. Barely enough. Construction everywhere, trash on the floor, seats ripped. It's just so darn depressing. Then you get to Tampa and everything is pristine and beautiful and looks like it's brand new and there's hustle and bustle. And you'd think you're in 2 different countries.
Okay. Have you seen the Rays attendance, though, versus ours?
Yeah, that's not been good.
No further questions.
They're building a new stadium down there, but right next to the old stadium.
Good location.
Yeah, well, not really. Not really. It's a beautiful part of St. Petersburg, for sure. But it's hard to get there for most of the people.
Right by Greg Vaughn's home.
It's close.
See? And he's a Rays season ticket holder now.
He is not.
Has he been to a game?
Has he been to a Rams game back when they were here and a Rays game? And does he see any similarities between the facilities?
He did go to a couple Rays games, I think, when the Cardinals were there, maybe.
Nice.
And said you can pick up a ticket for about $10. Nice. Pretty much wherever you want to sit.
I'm sure
like the old days here.
I'm sure you were covering the Cardinals back when they were in St. Pete, weren't you?
Oh, absolutely, he was.
Yeah, but I never went.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah,
they were there through 97.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I never been to St. Pete either. I started in radio in 92, but when I started being in a place that actually went to spring training was 98.
Yeah.
So it was already Jupiter. They had just built the golf course, wasn't even built yet, across the street.
Yeah.
That was all like dirt.
I never saw Al Lang Field or the Cardinals, St. Petersburg. Zip Zeppa always went back in those days. Yeah. He always got the call for that.
Yes, I'm the one who doesn't get things. Let's talk coffee shops. That's from Chairman Steve in Wildwood, Milagro Tequila, Listener of the Year in 2023.
You get the show because you bought coffee?
Doug?
It makes
What
no
does that
sense.
mean?
It makes no
What
sense.
does that even mean?
He bought coffee one day. Mr. Smith went and picked it up because our coffee machine wasn't working.
Smitty.
The day you started your vacation in the Hamptons, we had a school event that I wanted to make sure I was at with my older son. And so I told Jackson and Tommy Mattern I would be out for the first hour and a half. And I guess during that time, Iggy, you put out a request for coffee because the coffee machine wasn't working.
The only time we bag is like when Tim comes, like, okay, now we get it.
Can someone please bring us stuff?
No, I would have bagged if Tim was here because the coffee machine wasn't working. But we have a coffee maker, but we had no coffee. We had beans, and we have no grinder. So I had absolutely no way of getting coffee. Learn didn't have any coffee in their studio. They usually take a pot in there themselves.
What, do you have to have coffee?
Yeah, I need coffee to function.
Well, what if you don't have it? Are you going to be okay?
Yeah, but I would have gotten it if I knew we didn't have any. I actually said, Mr. Smith, what are you doing? And Smitty went and got it, and Steve picked it up. Steve bought the coffee, which is fine, but I don't know what that has to do with you don't get the show. Oh, I bought coffee.
So you're not appreciative of the fact that he bought the coffee and had it delivered for you.
No, Mr. Smith went and picked it up, but Steve had it ordered for him when he got there because he wasn't sure Mr. Smith knew how to order because he'd never been to a Starbucks. So it's fine. I thanked him on the air. I said, thank you, Mr. Smith, and thank you, Steve, for paying for the coffee.
And it was delivered right here to your little
Steve dropped
stool.
it off, and he wanted the autographed baseball that I have sitting up there somewhere.
Did you give it to him?
I forgot it. But he was the Milagro Listener of the Month, so he gets to come back and
year.
He gets to come back and pick up all of his gifts, and I'll put the baseball in there for him.
Okay.
But that has nothing to do with getting the show.
Oh. I thought it did.
Another Keisha Grant applause you there.
Well, I already forgot the text from Steve.
I'll revisit it. Let me see what I got here, Plowek. Yes, I'm the one who doesn't get things. Let's talk coffee shops.
Yeah.
Oh, there was a post about where Hubbard went, where the near coffee shops were.
Oh, that was a big topic on the fan page?
It was
Nice.
one topic, but I didn't see the comments. It
Doug,
didn't
did you see the?
Didn't
No, I didn't see this. How could getting a cup of coffee possibly be a problem?
It wasn't a problem.
Every place that's open has coffee, right?
I didn't know none of it was working when I got here. I didn't have time to go get coffee then because the show was ready to start.
I drink sexy coffee, drink beer, and get booties.
Get booties.
Huh. Well, maybe we ought to invest in our own coffee maker so this never happens again.
No, this is the first time ever that there wasn't any packs of coffee.
But the coffee maker has been down before.
Yeah, but then there's also a pot. I can make a pot of coffee, which I was started to do this morning as I plugged in and unplugged the coffee maker again. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I didn't think it was going to work, so I unplugged it, plugged it back in, and then I started making a pot of coffee.
Yeah.
But then it worked.
Oh.
So there's 2 things of coffee back there today.
Okay.
Not that anybody cares, but I'm just saying that because Steve brought up I don't do anything. I don't get it. I got your coffee. It has nothing to do with getting the show and getting coffee. That doesn't... It's not the same thing.
These are the kind of conversations when you're driving around Tampa, you wonder, what kind of show is this?
Is this what you missed when
What in
you
the
were...
world?
When you pulled up to stoplights in Tampa, did you hear other people streaming from their phone?
No, I did not. Nor did I hear anyone listening to it in the villages, which we visited one day.
Did you visit the villages?
Yes, we did.
How can you visit them?
Well, it's a city of 150,000
Well,
people.
man, I thought it was a big high-rise community.
No, it's a 150,000 people city.
I need to go
It's
visit
grown from like a one-time trailer park little retirement area to this enormous retirement area with 40-some-odd golf courses.
Oh, Bill.
Are you kidding me?
Hundreds of restaurants and stores.
Oh,
Yeah,
Bill.
it's like a big city.
Swingers.
It'd be that's what everybody says. It'd be like the third largest city in Missouri, I think.
That's insane.
Maybe fourth or fifth.
Did you see Rich Little there?
I didn't see everyone there. No.
Did Greg Vaughn go with you?
Yeah.
Did he really?
It was his car. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He drove us up there to look, just because it's a fantastic place.
Sounds like you're looking to move to the villages. That's how I take that as.
We have neighbors that just bought a place here. They go for a month or two, in the middle of winter. And I thought, somewhere down the road.
Set up the little laptop.
Oh, I thought Sound Story would just go crazy.
Oh, I agree with you 100%.
Nuts there.
I agree with you 100%
I
there.
didn't really think about the swingers thing until we were done. And then I started reading about it. And supposedly you look for there's a big loofah sponge, a giant loofah
sponge.
It looks like a pool noodle or something that people put on the back of their golf carts with different color-coded, like black means I'm up for everything, and pink means I guess we're gay, and another color means we're not sure, another color means we like to watch. This is according to the website. I didn't see any
So
of it
which
there.
loofah did you use
I saw none
when you
of it
were
there.
driving around?
Oh,
It was awkward for Greg.
We didn't have a loofah.
Okay, let me break it down for you.
I can't, fathom...
Did you play golf?
No, we just visited there and looked around and had lunch. And
Did you get hit on?
Did not get hit. No, it looks like you're in any other Florida retirement community. Only it's more upscale and golfing is everywhere. We saw 2 large golf cart dealerships. Just like you'd see a Munganess dealership here. They have those for golf carts.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Did it surprise you that when it was still a little bitty community with not a lot of people, and it came out that there was an STD explosion there were cases of STD all over the villages, that it blossomed into a huge city because they knew people down were ready to go?
No, I don't think that has anything to do with it. I think that was probably a clickbait headline, and that's unfortunately the reputation that now follows the place.
You imagine going to Walmart and buying said pool noodles, and obviously the workers know what the pool noodles mean.
Yeah.
Kind of be awkward that you're buying one that you just want to watch.
Yeah, or maybe you get your own paint and paint it. I should have looked when we were there. Doggone, I really
should have brought a flower back
golden
with you.
opportunity. Of what?
Should have brought a pamphlet back with you.
Oh, I brought lots of stuff back with me.
No.
Yeah.
You're really thinking about this, aren't
They
you?
sell so many houses. The turnover is so great. They print out a big, thick newspaper every day of here's a house is
Is
on the
that
market
right?
now. Here's how. That's all.
So I was looking at the real estate market there, and now there's a large amount of inventory in certain places, including Southwest Florida, although I think it's a little more south than the Tampa-St. Pete area. Did you hear anything on that, and is there anything...
It didn't go down there.
Yeah.
Are you talking about Sarasota, Bradenton, or farther on down, like
Even
Fort Myers and
further
Bonita
down?
Beach?
Yeah, that kind of like Cape Coral.
Supposedly, the prices have kind of stabilized a little bit. They're not still on this meteoric rise upward. But it's a thriving area,
Well, I think it's time for you to get a place at the Villages. What percentage would you put that you're going to get a place at the Villages?
2%.
1 out of 50, Iggy. Think about that.
At some point, I wouldn't mind living the winter months of my life somewhere in Florida.
Yeah, most people think of that, warm weather.
Yeah.
And you like to play golf and, get out and stay active. That'd be perfect for you. Me, I'm here.
That's kind of depressing.
It is.
That'll do it. Back to you, Steve.
I am now officially collecting Social Security.
Well, nothing wrong with that. Everybody does when they get that age. Why wouldn't you?
I had my phone call yesterday, and thanks to Mark Hanna he made it so easy. He told me what they were going to ask me when they called, what I needed. Here's what you want to do as far as taking a percentage of it out so you're not killed with taxes. Helped me with so much stuff. So I got the call yesterday. The questions were I knew what was coming. Answered them all. I said, I want this much taken out. He says, perfect. You'll get a back check later this week, and then you'll get this much every month. And that was it.
As I understand it, as of 2024, Missouri will no longer tax Social Security income.
Oh, really? This is 2024.
That's right. As of this year.
So I shouldn't have said take taxes out.
Well, I'm not sure. Maybe they won't.
No, I told him what to take out, and he said you can take out 5, 7, 12, 10, or 22%.
Yeah. Well, I could be wrong. I'm sure he knows more about it than I do. But from what I've read, this is the first year that Missouri won't be taxing Social Security income.
It was a fun day and it was a sad day. It was a fun day that I'm going to get some free money. Not free. I paid for it for 40 years. And they're still going to take money out of the money they already took out before. So that's fun. But at the same time, it's like most people after this many years of working, especially in the ludicrous screw it, the great field of radio. That she would be saying, yeah, let's go look at a place down in Florida. I'm not.
Well, people don't generally buy second homes with their Social Security income.
No, they retire down there.
No, that's just to kind of keep you going. That's to keep you in food and medicine and shelter. It was never meant to give you enough money to buy second homes in Florida.
I guess you had to do some investing along the way.
Yeah, that's usually what people do.
Well, anyway, I guess I'm officially a retiree, but I'm still working. So,
congratulations.
Yeah.
So you waited till your full retirement age.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now, yeah, that helps with taxes as well.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You won't get penalized for working another job.
No, because I asked him. I said, "Is it going to matter?" Because I still have to work. He goes, "Yeah, you're in radio, so I'm sure you're still working."
Yeah.
When that guy?
No, he was a very nice guy. So I said, no, you can still work. You still collect your benefits, you can still work.
Yeah. Sure.
So anyway, that's done. So now I just sit back and live off of 30-plus years in radio and cry.
Nice. I always like a nice cry, Doug.
Good sobbing. I lasted 25 minutes. That's all, folks. See you tomorrow. It's Midge or Madge.
See you, buddy.
Stephen Wildwood and Doug, you may remember, he won the Milagro Tequila Listener of the Year.
Yeah.
I am happy he is getting Social Security. However, showing up late after breaks, interrupting live reads, phone going off, wedging in live reads that are not on the books, I could go on. But I'm the one who doesn't get the show. You are actually in the room, and you get it less than most of the audience. The coffee shop reference was from yesterday. Idiot. Stephen Wildwood is not happy this morning.
My goodness.
And he's texting into the Jeff Lotman text inbox.
Again, it has nothing to do with the topic I brought up, so just keep your word vomit coming in. But it's better on the text than on the phone, because on the phone, I mean, it's just 30 minutes of just dribble.
Oh, gosh. It's Listener of the Year.
Milagro Tequila Listener of the Year, for that matter. Who did you vote for?
I don't know, but it wasn't him.
Okay, there you go. Coming up, we will have Jeremy Rutherford at 8:20. I think I was saying that he is flying to New Jersey, and then I got distracted by my own self as to whether or not he'll be flying into Newark, LaGuardia, or JFK. Blues and Devils tomorrow after the Blues lose last night. I still don't think it would have mattered one way or another, but that one had to be particularly frustrating considering they had, you consider it the most dangerous league in hockey, right?
2-0.
2-0.
Yeah.
Two-goal lead. And then they wound up losing 4-2. So day off today, New Jersey tomorrow, the Garden on Saturday, and then to Boston on Monday. Who will make the trip to Madison Square Garden on Saturday? And will Pavel Buchnevich be one of them? Will there be a surprise sale over the next 48, 72 hours? We'll talk it over with JR coming up at 8:20. 8:20 today because he is on a flight to somewhere in the tri-state area. Jeremy Rutherford, 8:20. Design, Air, Heating, and Cooling email of the day at 9:45. We also have the Munganess Daily Fantasy Sports Showdown coming your way. And, of course, Jackson and I will go down the hallway, and we'll be fine. I know there's some things to not be happy about.
No.
Not the Blues loss. Missouri, though, got their first...
They did not. They've lost 17 in a row. 17 in a row in Division I basketball. That's not easy to pull off.
So congratulations to them.
Congratulations are in order.
And the Plowhawks Illini, they came up short against a dangerous Purdue team.
They're not dangerous.
You saw Virginia lose in the first round and come back and win a national championship the next year. Is this the year for Matt Painter with the #1 seed to bounce back? Doug, do you say Farley Dickinson or Fairleigh Dickinson?
I think it's Fairleigh, isn't it?
Either way,
Fairleigh,
they bounced back after last year. Fairleigh Dickinson, Plowhawk ILL, took it on the chin last night in Champaign.
Yeah, it was a rough one. It's a regular season game that I invested so much in.
Did you really?
Thanks to a listener who got me onto a Peacock account because I didn't know at the time it was on Peacock, so I was looking through the channels at about 5:45. Vented my frustration about, this particular game being on a streaming service.
Yeah.
Two best teams in the Big Ten, and they were preseason as well. To have basically the second to last Big Ten game, that matchup probably, the most important game of the season be on Peacock. Nonetheless, I watched it, and yeah, Zach Edey has ruined college basketball. So it'll be nice.
What do you mean he's ruined it?
He ruined it.
Oh,
what do you
absolutely.
mean?
Refs don't know how to call a 7'4" guy.
What should they call?
He hook and holds. He goes over the back 80% of the time. He had a block that was all skin and everything, and then stared down Coleman Hawkins. Should have been a foul and a tee. And I've watched a couple of Purdue games. It's unbelievable. They're going to win the national championship. There is no referee tandem that can call what he does. Like he fouls 80% of the time. Nobody calls it.
You think maybe you notice it more because he's so big?
Offense.
He's such a massive presence that you notice what he's doing. Right? The other guy's doing the same thing, but you don't notice it.
They don't want to penalize his size, but they call ticky-tacky stuff on 6'6", 6'7" guards. It was bad. But I liked Illinois' resilience. Obviously, Terrence Shannon, 11 points, not going to do it. But that was heartbreaking. Watching college basketball be ruined each and every possession. There's no flow to the game. There's no offense Purdue creates outside of lucky threes. And literally, Zach Edey could have had 45 if he wanted to.
Why are they lucky threes when Purdue hits one?
Yeah, what is lucky about him?
Because there were several occasions in the last 4 minutes of the game, Illinois blocked the layup. It went off of the backboard right to the guy in the corner who happened to be wide open for a three. So that's a great defensive play that turns into 3-point for
How
Purdue.
many times did that happen?
Twice, back-to-back possessions. We had a steal that when tipped, slipped through our hands, falling through a guy that is at a wide-open three. So just the bounces were bad. So that wasn't Purdue's.
So luck and bad officiating is what cost Illinois the game.
Zach Edey ruining college basketball.
Zach Edey has already ruined it. I should have restated that. He has already ruined the game of college basketball.
How many lose?
Watch a Purdue game and tell me that's fun to watch. It's miserable. It's infuriating.
You don't like watching the big man? That used to be what basketball was. Who's got the best big man?
He has some skill. But it's slowing down. It slowed the flow of the game. They have no other player besides him. And it's how the refs let him get away with what he does is mind-blowing. Never seen it before. We had Kofi Coburn, and he got called for absolutely everything. There are big that have gotten called for fouls. This is an anomaly. I've never seen this in college basketball. I don't know if we ever will. They do not know how to contain it.
Who was that big guy Mizzou had a couple years ago that got in foul trouble?
You talk about Mike Sambodi.
No, not Wes Zamboni.
Jeremiah Tillman.
Yeah, that's who it was. Tillman. He'd pick up 3 fouls 5 minutes in every game, too.
Jackson, did that drive you up the wall?
He had no idea how to defend the shot. It really frustrating.
Jackson, you would have been happy with this. A freshman came in to try to get some minutes against him. 4 fouls in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
4 fouls in 3 minutes. Zach Edey played almost the entire game with 3 fouls, and Illinois player get 4 fouls in 3 minutes. It's insane.
I don't like him either, Plowhawk, but Brad Underwood putting Coleman Hawkins on him, that's barbecue chicken.
We have no big.
He cannot keep up with him.
Oh, you like that? That's barbecue chicken? You like
what
that?
the world's that mean?
I agree with
mouse
Jackson.
in the house.
I agree with Jackson 100%.
You just stuffed a donut
Yeah,
in your mouth.
that's a monster chocolate long john.
Thank you,
Danny Mac.
Shout out Danny Mac.
Oh, he's brought in donuts today?
We had donuts and coffee, and I felt bad, so I held both doors open for him. And, came back in, and there was a donut sitting
Yeah, we
there.
had a nice chat this morning outside. When I was smoking a cigarette, he stopped by, had a box of donuts on his way up, and nice little chat, and then upstairs with his donuts.
Yeah, fantastic.
What'd you talk about?
Yeah, this and that.
A little bit of this, a little bit of that, baby.
Look at this, look at that. Oh, roof daddy.
Oh, man.
Doug, let's be grateful for all of the wonderful things, but I can tell you this, the audience is not happy with a lot of them.
What aren't they happy about?
Matt at the Plowhawk, I've seen a lot of wah texts. You see that, like, wah, like a baby. Those are coming in.
Oh, I'm passionate about my Illini, so it probably did come off like that.
So there's a bunch of those coming in. And then Brian Henshin, I guess. I don't know if he covers Purdue or not. I know he's mainly on the Colts beat. I love Plowsy so much. This is amazing. Need to get him on some sports talk here in the Circle City. You like that, the Circle City?
Why are we the Circle City?
I think he's talking about Indianapolis, where he's covering the...
Oh. Were they drive in circles?
There are those circles right around Lucas Oil, with monuments. I don't know what it's called. Brian Henshin, you can tell me. He's probably still reviewing his combine notes.
Oh, gosh. Cody Schrader got hurt.
Yeah, I saw that.
Dockage still doing radio down there? You put him on with Dockage.
I don't have that answer for you. Probably. He was the big star, wasn't he?
Yeah, well, we get Plowsy on with Dockage.
The 618 says Plowsy's 100% right. How about that? Not happy in the YouTube chat that we didn't understand Stephen Wildwood's text.
I love that.
Let's see. Charles R. says, how do they not realize this is about the Brianna coffee shop suggestion? And then Jake Reynolds says they seem to forget the show as soon as the show is over. And Doug, you've always said...
That part's true. That part is absolutely true.
Well, Steve bought coffee.
Don't get angry.
And then he brought up coffee. So I'm figuring that's what he's talking about since he bought the coffee.
What was the Brianna Coppage thing?
And that wasn't even a huge topic. We were talking about if she wanted to get into business. I said, we need to open a coffee shop around here.
I almost wet myself.
Which part?
The coffee
What about
shop.
the pirating discussion?
And then saying that we need to ask every guest to have sex with us if they want to come on.
The pirating thing got me, too. It was one of the funniest.
So Brianna is on leave from another new job, Doug.
Oh, no.
Iggy wanted to book her. It was great. He texted, you texted me and Jackson, right? On Monday. Today's Wednesday. Yeah, Monday. Saying he had booked Brianna for 9 o'clock. And I'm like, oh, that'll be great. Whatever, fine. And what, because you'd been talking to her on the phone or something? Is that the
I
deal?
thought it was brought up on the show that people were wondering what she's been doing lately. So I said, I can get her on and we can check.
There you go. So Iggy booked her. We had her on. I didn't know anything new. And we just were BSing with her. But it just so happened she was put on leave from her new job on Monday. And she was really down about it.
What was she doing with that job? Or was that secret?
It was not teaching. She didn't say. But you could tell she was down about it. So that was a development in that capacity. And then I think I said she made a lot of money. She, has become a millionaire from the OnlyFans thing. Oh, yeah.
Good for her.
Don't know how many millions of dollars, but she keeps losing jobs because of it. That genie's not going back in the bottle.
No.
And I said, so if you want to work, because she said she's just doing it for fun, because she needs to have a purpose and she doesn't want to be a full-on adult star. So I said, oh, you ought to open up with that capital your own business, and then that way you don't have to worry about, somebody firing you because of the OnlyFans thing. And Iggy suggested the business being a coffee shop. I believe that is what the audience is unhappy with us talking.
I don't know why you're unhappy. I mean, you can't beat a good coffee shop.
You can't.
And there's not a lot around here.
No.
I mean, yeah, Starbucks and Dunkin' Donuts. I'm talking about a nice mom and pop coffee shop. You sit down.
Thank
you got
you.
a Danish.
Thank
you
you
got
for the delicious
3 or 4
boner.
different types of coffee.
How about a
maybe,
stolen?
Maybe and a stolen or a crumb cake.
Scone?
Yeah.
Oh, you need cranberry orange muffins.
Schwuyadel?
Any of that. Schwuyadel. But, Blue Mountain coffee, Dominican coffee, all kinds of different coffees. And a nice atmosphere. Maybe some fake palm trees around the corner,
That would look good in St. Louis.
You got that Social Security money, baby.
Right.
Well, I can
So-
really,
parlay
I can now buy a coffee.
So
I can't
did
buy
she
a
like
coffee
the
shop,
idea?
but I can buy a Starbucks.
Did she like the idea at all?
I think she gave me a Keisha Gray.
There was a little silence on the back end of the question. There was a little silence.
Yeah, I was just making a suggestion, something that you get to interact with people, what you want to do. You can help them pick out a coffee, go from table to table, chat, have fun.
Hello, la la la.
All right, so we got a bunch of idiots today to start us off. Pete, what's up, Pete? Let's try you. See if you're going to make it any better.
I wouldn't imagine opening a coffee shop like that would necessarily be a lot of fun.
Is that from the Seinfeld episode?
Yeah.
Elaine!
Are we really talking about that coffee shop thing again? It made 0 sense yesterday and even less sense today. Jesus, that's some big tough.
Yeah, Tim's reading all the text talking about, I can't believe they don't know what you're talking about with coffee. I explain it, Tim explains it, and then they bitch about that. Talking about it again.
Oh.
No, the texters on YouTube wanted to know about it, so we did it.
You're here because you want to be here. You're subscribing to what we do. So, if you want to go on there and, talk about Giambi or anybody else, be my guest.
No.
Mike in Long Beach, what's up, Mike?
Stephen Wilder has just sent in a screenshot of what appears to be about 30 coffee shops.
Yeah.
There's a coffee shop on every corner.
Around Olive?
Oh, my
Yes,
gosh.
There's a
specifically Olive.
Starbucks like 2 blocks from here. That's it.
I don't know. Stephen Wildwood, it says coffee shops near Creve Coeur, and it looks like there's, I don't know.
What do you consider near? 5 miles away? That's fairly near. I'm talking about in this vicinity, this big shopping area here.
Why don't you put it down in the main level?
That's what I'm saying. Down there where they just opened that massage parlor.
I meant
that could have been a coffee shop.
It's more like a wellness center, I think.
I think the term massage parlor has kind of been
Yeah, I don't know if anybody.
They do massages there.
The competition would be pretty fierce in the coffee shop
all those
business.
people in the Diamond Connect, they've got to have coffee in the morning. All the people at Hubbard.
Handful of people.
The people from the spinning class.
Not enough.
Once that fountain comes on, everybody comes in to see the fountain. Oh, there's
They
coffee.
don't- they
Let's
don't
have
come in
coffee
to
and
see the
enjoy the fountain.
They don't come in to see the fountain.
Throwing pack into the family truckster. We're going to go see the fountain in front of the Potbelly.
I guess I'm the only one that enjoys the fountain. I don't know.
When you stand in the kitchen and look at that thing is huge. Look at all the space that takes. And you have to
Yeah.
go around it when you walk. I
They
don't
spent
love that
a
either.
fortune on that thing, I'm sure.
The upkeep.
Doug, when you move to Florida, you're going to get a little part-time job at rallies. That's from Starfish Street.
Oh,
Is that something that you
thought
were
about
talking about? Did you scout out the rallies?
No, I did see a place that would be a great business here. That was at the new Tiger Woods miniature golf place. I think it's
Wasn't it like Pop something
or something.
Yeah. Oh, they
It's
have
like
one in
the-
Tampa or St. Pete?
Yeah, Wesley Chapel, which is just north of Tampa, like a suburb. It's like the miniature golf version of
Right.
Topgolf.
Yeah.
It's really something. Really
Did you guys
cool.
play it or you just
We
saw
did
it?
play.
Oh, yeah? How'd you play?
36 holes we played.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
12 under?
What's that?
12 under?
Yeah, what'd you get?
No, I did beat both Greg and Nick. at 3 holes and
message
one.
sent.
Yeah. But it's really cool.
Did you bring your own putter?
I did
You
not.
bring the Scotty
They have a 100
Cameron?
putter. They let you keep a golf ball as a souvenir, and they have bars and restaurants and music playing and enormous set. It was really
So
cool.
Top Golf meets
Miniature
putt-putt
golf
would be kind of.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
with
actually.
long holes that are very nice. And
I like that.
Like, what do you mean by long, bro?
oh, some of the putts are probably 40 feet or so.
Hale
40,
Irwin at
45.
Medina, 1990.
Maybe.
How quirky
But
is
there's no clown's mouth or
Okay,
anything like that.
just about
It's
that,
regular
they're-
putts. Regular putts with, some bends and curves and sand traps that you got to putt out of. And
Again, go back and listen to the tape from me from maybe a year or two ago. I said this city needs a putt-putt course.
We have one. It's awesome. Putt Shack?
I've done that. Yeah. That's
Putt
cool,
Shack
too.
cool. You
Yeah.
got like the glow stuff. Yeah, that's pretty
But my
good.
idea, like Tigers, where there's a bar there, you can stop at the 4th hole and order a drink. How about a burger? We'll see you at the turn.
So if Tiger stole your idea?
Putt Shack has all that.
Yeah, I think Putt Shack like
Well,
that.
Putt
kind-
Shack stole my idea then.
All right, litigation coming. And if you are injured in a car accident, maybe you can call CD Longo and Doug Biggs. Two birds.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of traffic going to the coffee shop.
It's longobigs.com. If any of my family or friends are ever injured in a car accident, I want them to call Doug Biggs and CD Longo at Longo Biggs Injury Law. For nearly 10 years, Doug Biggs and CD Longo have been recognized as the top 40 under 40 personal injury lawyers by Super Lawyers, the National Academy of Personal Injury Attorneys, and the National Trial Lawyers Association. And then a churn and burn type of law firm. With Doug and CD, you won't be just another file lost in the shuffle. If you have questions about your case, you're going to talk to them. Doug, CD, personally. They are local, friendly TMA listeners, and they are online at longobigs.com. longobigs.com, LONGOBIGGS.com. Remember, the choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements. Doug, would you like to tell us about our phone line sponsor, and that's Collier Thompson, 636-9004-TMA. Those are the TMA phone line sponsored by Collier Thompson. But what about Collier Thompson in general? It's a wonderful place.
Fabulous place.
Really
yeah,
is. I've
nice
gotten stuff from there. I've been a shopper there before.
Have you? Yeah. I went out and saw their showroom a week or two ago. Very nice. Right there on Manchester in Baldwin. Very close to Uncle Bill's Pancakes. Next time you're there for
Bill's.
Giant Uncle Bill's. Next time you're there for
Bill's.
a giant stack of flapjacks, you got to go over to Collier and Thompson. Fantastic place. Been in business since the 1950s. They have what I would call, and what they call, a commitment to quality. They do top-line stuff. They have got the answer for remodel for your kitchen or your bathroom. I mean, they have fantastic looking things. You ought to go in there and check out their more than 10,000 square foot showroom. All kinds of kitchens and bathrooms. They got great displays there. They don't just do kitchens and bathrooms either. They'll remodel your basement, wine rooms, man caves, bars, accent rooms, fireplace walls, offices, you name it, they probably do it. They even have a painting department right there. Collier and Thompson is your go-to source for every design consideration. They carry the best cabinets, appliances, and countertops in the business. Almost everything with Collier and Thompson is right there in-house. You don't have to go to 5 or 10 different places to remodel your home. You just go to Collier and Thompson. They've got it all. They got the countertops, appliances, lighting, flooring, hardware, plumbing. You name it, it is there in-house with a huge selection of appliances. You just go there one time and you can cover the whole thing. Very, very impressive showroom. You ought to check that out. Bathrooms are often a thing where people say, I don't really need to remodel a bathroom. Nobody sees that. But that's one of the things that can really help sell your house and, more importantly, add value to it. Service and quality is their number one priority. If they did a job 10 years ago and a door or a hinge or something needs caulk, Matthew, the service manager and appliance installer, will go back and help it out again. You know what they said they're doing a lot of? Removing walls on first floors. People are trying to open up their house, get that more open living space. Collier and Thompson doing a lot of that, and they can do it for you.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't just do kitchens and bath. They'll darn near do your whole house for you.
That's
Collier and Thompson on Manchester Road in Baldwin, right next to Uncle Bill's Pancake House. Collier and Thompson, come home to quality. Online at collierandthompson.com.
Call in the Collier and Thompson phone line, 636-9004-TMA. We had 2 different women call in on Monday, Doug.
Oh,
it was hot.
I heard one of them talking about her lesbian experience. Yeah. You seemed excited.
Yeah, James Carlton, I paid $25 a piece for that.
Yeah, that's a good investment.
Yeah, I got sick return on it. Speaking of James, thank you for making that happen. And thank you for being my insurance agent and the Plowhawks insurance agent and now Iggy's insurance agent and at least 360 other people's insurance agent, because that's what you can see. 360 5-star reviews for James Carlton and the Carlton State Farm Insurance Agency in Webster Groves. They rave about the customer service, and that's what I rave about as well. And I realize most people are like, it's an insurance agent. I have a buddy who handles it. I'm good. Thank you. And that's fine. I was the same way. Then I made the switch to James Carlton, and now I see the difference. They do all the paperwork for you when you make the switch. And once you make the switch, I don't think you're going to go back and you're going to understand why I rave about James and his team. Online at carltoninsurance.net. It's James Carlton. If your insurance costs a leg and an arm, call James Carlton, State Farm. And you should also probably think about it while you're doing so. Doug, here is Ali Marmol talking Sonny Gray's injury, and keep an eye out because you might hear the hawk.
Okay, I'd like to hear it, please.
It's our first test, and it's part of the game. Unfortunate, got it prepared extremely well for all situations, and it happens. But he's optimistic about it. We're optimistic about it, and keep moving forward.
It's 2024, and that's the audio we have.
Yeah, microphone audio hasn't evolved very much over the years.
And this
has
isn't
it?
a shot at anyone. It's just that's what we have. Like that's
Yeah.
just technology and crazy when it comes to audio.
If you don't get that mic right up in the face of the person speaking, about all you hear is the wind noise.
Mm-hmm.
I'll never miss the crack of the bat in spring training. I just love that sound.
You don't miss it?
No, I said I'll never not miss that.
No,
sound.
you left out the word not.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I love
I
going
miss it.
out
How
there.
about that?
Okay, that's better.
You know, I was looking at the memory 9 years ago. We were out there this week.
were we?
It was my
I don't
first
do well
year.
with it. I don't do well with it, Plowek.
My first year, so we had a young Adam Wainwright, you had Holiday and Lynn at the picnic table. Matt Adams was there.
Oh, that's when they toughed us around.
Yeah, that was my first year.
I was oppressed.
That was when I took the baseballs for Iggy.
Yep, and Matt Holiday slapped him.
Should have got more injured.
Yeah. You're gonna be a
Injured.
multimillionaire.
Mine came up a couple weeks ago because I think we were there right around Valentine's Day, the last time we went. Yeah, because we got our 10 nice-sized fritters for Valentine's Day, me and Joe Rod.
Galentine Day, in that area.
There's a picture of me with the Design Air shirt on and me with a towel over me freezing my ass off the day it rained, and it looked like a little whiny wimp.
It does get cold there in the morning, man. I always prepare.
Oh, this day was like 45 degrees and rain.
Bill. Doug Sonny Gray. He is out for what sounds like at least 3 weeks because he is not expected to start opening day. And this is an injury that he dealt with 2 different times in Minnesota in 2022, which led to 2 different IL stints. And now he will not be throwing in the near future, which will then cause him to not be able to pitch deeper into ball games at the start of the season whenever he is able to come back. But John Mazzella called it encouraging.
Yeah.
All right, hit the lever, Plowsy. Before your hot take.
Oh, I thought you thought it was a soundbite. No, there wasn't a soundbite.
There's no sound
Okay,
bite.
let me put the mittens on before you.
No, I thought you've been gone. I thought you would give a take.
EDF
on
hot glove mittens are going on right now.
What's the hot take? Mosaic saying it's encouraging?
No, I thought Plowsy was ready for a hot take, and I interrupted him.
I think it's the same guy who said we had 6 or 7 starters last year, and I couldn't find 2 of them in mid-July. So I don't know if we can take them seriously. If you look at Twitter, though, and that specific, I mean, that quote was, thrown around in Twitter sphere. If you read the comment, fans are getting as banty as I've ever seen it this in an off season. Usually Cardinal fans are very, laid back. They kind of wait and see what happens the first month of the season. They're banty as hell.
Absolutely. You are exactly right.
Crazy.
And part of that is, and this is what I said, and this was like at 9:45 right after that press conference yesterday, and then I talked about it on Balloon Party. Part of it is the messaging. Doug Armstrong is coming off of a disaster of a year himself. He's got a contract that, who knows, maybe something will happen here over the next couple of days. I don't know if it will with Jordan Kyrou. That could be a real problem for the organization. And John Mazzella led an organization that won a division less than, 19 months ago. But nonetheless, I'm very confident in saying that if you ask St. Louis sports fans who they would give a higher approval rating to, it would be Doug Armstrong over John Mazzella. And one of the reasons, I think, is the way that the fans feel like they're being screwed around with. And when you start your press conference by calling the results in which you're ace, and there is a big drop-off between Gray and whoever is 2, I gather it's Michaelis, and you call that encouraging, that doesn't work for people, and it screams that you're not being straight with them. Armstrong, even though I think he took another shot by firing Craig Berube, was very direct at the start of the season and saying, yeah, this isn't a team that's going to be up there with Colorado and Dallas, but hopefully we start to see the building blocks for the foundation of a team that will be able to get back up to that tier. And I think people appreciated that. And this is a case now when asked about, okay, well, with Gray's situation and considering it's an injury that he's had before, so this isn't like a guy that stumbled off the mound and twisted his ankle, whether or not you would go into the free agent market, because you do have Snell out there, you do have Montgomery out there, Michael Lorenzen is out there, not to say that he is the saving grace, although he did have a no-hitter last year after being traded to the Phillies, and Mozeliak said, I definitely feel it's not something that's required at this point. Obviously, if something changes, and we'd have to look at it differently, but not thinking we're going to have to do that. That is Mozeliak regarding the Cardinals going into the free agent market. And by the way, with respect to that specifically, I do understand it. I mean, the injury wasn't even 24 hours old when he made that comment. But if you're a Cardinal fan and you don't have Sonny Gray, and you already have a rotation that has question mark after question mark in it, and then you have the president of baseball operations I definitely feel like it's not something that's required, I can understand how that irritates people, especially right after you call the news encouraging, all while acknowledging it's going to be challenging for him to be ready for the start of the season. And furthermore, it's an injury he's suffered from now 3 times in the last 2 years. That's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
So it's messaging.
I don't know why people expect, even if he's out for a couple of weeks, to go sign a free agent. The guys that are out there for another $20 million a year. Now you have 2 guys you signed for $40 million. One of them is going to be back in 3 weeks. Now you got another starter. I mean, they've already said they're not going to spend any more money.
See, Iggy,
now, if he's out for the season, he's out for the season, yeah, you have no choice. But for 2, 3, even if it's 3 weeks, they're not going to go sign a guy for $20, $25 million to put in this rotation.
I get that, but my reason I don't like looking at that is the example is, even if he's out a couple weeks, they should have gotten another premier starter instead of a Lynn or a Gibson. Like, they should have done this before Sonny Gray. So, I hate when hearing John Mozeliak say, well, what do you want us to do? Go out and spend millions of dollars and overreact on a 2 or 3 week injury? It's like, well, you should have been proactive from the jump and getting a little... I mean, your rotation is littered full of... sub 40-year-olds almost, and 3 of the 5. You're going to have injuries with 25, 26-year-old pitchers, let alone guys who are quote-unquote inning theater, but eventually their arms are going to give out. And you have
the one thing that I want to say, and then I would definitely want to hear your opinion, Doug, is with some intriguing news that could actually benefit the Cardinals in a weird way. Lucas Giolito is likely to miss the season for the Red Sox with a UCL injury. And Jordan Montgomery was partnered with the Red Sox when people are trying to figure out where he's going to go, where Snell's going to go. And I think the initial reaction would be, oh, well, now that they're going to be without Giolito, they got to sign Montgomery. And I would actually tell you, I think it could be the opposite. That if their owner, John Henry, didn't view that team as a championship contender anyway, especially in that division, now you don't have Giolito. Now you go, okay, it's really not going to happen. Why would we invest that kind of money in Montgomery when it doesn't matter? It's like when I keep pointing out the Pirates signing Aroldis Chapman a $10 million deal. I'm like, why would they even mess with that? It didn't happen, and why spend the $10 million? It's not like Pirates fans are like, oh, good, now we got a chance. So when you have that situation, albeit rarer in Boston, perhaps that increases the probability of Montgomery and or Snell taking a Bellinger-like deal, in which Bellinger did get a 3-year, $80 million deal from the Cubs, but he can opt out after the first and second years if he has a big year this year that then makes his marketability higher than that AAV. And so I wonder if Montgomery or Snell would be more apt to take that, especially now if the Red Sox are out of the market, limiting their teams, plus it's March 6th, and therefore giving the Cardinals the option to do a deal in which they would only be theoretically committed for a limited amount of time. And if things work out for the pitcher, which would be good for the Cardinals, they could only be on the hook for 1 year with Montgomery or Snell. And I'm not sure that they would take that, but you saw it happen with Bellinger when the market didn't mature to the point that he thought it would at the start of the offseason.
I don't think it's happened at all with those guys with the Cardinals. I think they would have done it by now if it was going to.
But if the price point shifted, it can change the game.
It would have to shift an awful lot. I just don't think...
To get a 1-year deal, that's what I'm saying. The 1-year option is the thing that I think they're looking for. They don't want to be committed long-term. They only have 2 players under contract behind 2026, and that's Arenado and Contreras.
What if those players don't opt out after the first year? They have a bad year. They have a good year. Say, I just want to stay here.
That's the risk. But again, I don't think you're... Well, but the issue is they're not in a position now to get 5 years, $120 million like they thought they were going to back in October. So that's why things have changed. And if one of the big suitors, the Red Sox, are no longer a suitor, that limits their options, which then changes the arithmetic again. If indeed that's the case. Now, maybe the Red Sox go, God, we got to sign Montgomery.
But I would be inclined to think it's otherwise. I don't know that, but that's how I would look at it. For example, let me put it this way. The Red Sox were thought to be, I don't know, I would imagine they're picked to be 4th or 5th in the American League East. It's not like the Giolito thing helped the cause, so you're still dead. You can't get more dead. Why spend the money on Montgomery? The Cardinals, on the other hand, while they might be 4th or 5th in the American League East, are picked to win the National League Central or be at the top of it, competing with whatever other butt-ass. They have the highest win projection of the teams, 84.5. Cardinals are in a different set of circumstances. And so in a weird way, if this would lead them signing another pitcher, it could actually benefit them if indeed Gray is okay. But this is a chronic injury. This isn't new. And if you're, you might go, well, hamstring, what does it matter? Well, you're pushing off with that thing. And he stopped right when he felt it and then was grabbing that thing as he walked off the mound. This is something to keep an eye on. And as Plowboy made reference to, when you're in your mid-30s, and you've thrown a lot of innings in Major League Baseball, you're going to be more susceptible to injuries like this. You're highly leveraged with older pitchers.
And they have a whole staff like that.
Yeah.
They have a whole staff with a lot of miles on the odometer.
Is Matt the youngest?
Probably so.
I think 31?
I think, though, that this is probably less on Mozeliak than it is on DeWitt. I think Mozeliak would love to have Snell or Montgomery or both of them or much more help. But if DeWitt has given him the budget that here's what you can spend, we're unsure about the TV deal and some other things, we're just not going to spend any more than this right now, then that's all he can do.
That part is correct. I agree with you. And I've always kind of been enamored with why Mozeliak catches more hell, which I still think goes back to, like, if he talked like Doug Armstrong and didn't wear cardigan sweaters around his neck and wasn't condescending in some of his answers, that he wouldn't be viewed that way, because his run as president of baseball operations as a whole has been, I don't know how it couldn't be termed as successful. Mm-hmm. But recently, it has really frustrated people with whether it be bad signings or trades of players that go and become stars elsewhere. And it is a very healthy-sized list. And so when you start that press conference yesterday by calling it encouraging, even though you're acknowledging he's not unlikely to make his opening day start, which means you're going to go into Los Angeles with Michaelis, Lynn, Gibson, and Matz against a team that has, a 3-figure win projection and a lineup that I think people may be talking about years from now is going, oh, remember the 2024 Dodgers. Godspeed. That is going to be a tall order. Not to say that if they had Sonny Gray, they would have won those games.
If we can get hot, Timmy, we can win that, baby.
You think they can sweep them?
Yeah.
I like
we can just get hot.
I wonder what the odds would be on the Cardinals sweeping the Dodgers. I wonder if that's even available.
Wouldn't that be great, though? Get the reaction from L.A. after they spent all that money.
Oh, my God, it would be great entertainment.
Ohtani starts 0 for 17 with 10 strikeouts.
But don't you see kind of this season, we don't know what's going to happen in the trade deadline, but it seems like the same type of season as last year. Roughly, give or take 4 wins or losses one way or the other. This is about the same team. I don't see a huge uptick. Now, if you don't blow a bunch of saves like they did last year, maybe you get a little bit closer to the number you're looking for. But
if Mason Wynn turns into a star, if Jordan Walker takes a huge leap and becomes a star, those are 2 guys that could possibly carry you into a new level.
Walker and
absolutely,
that's huge. Yeah, I agree.
But minus that, it is the same team.
I just don't see it. Yeah. I don't see that huge rise from what they were 8, 9, 10 months ago. I don't know what they did.
Well, they shuffled the pitching staff around and got older. And we say it every year about this time. Pitchers are going to get hurt. They always get hurt. You better go in with 7 or 8 good options for starting pitchers because they will always get hurt.
That was, like Tim said, I was surprised the way Mozeliak addressed it and how he addressed it. Because I think he got to know somebody on Twitter that tells him, yo, man, this is it's getting, just pick your words wisely. Mm-hmm. But to say they're not in a hurry, this injury doesn't, force them to need to do anything. That's not.
I agree with. Again, I want to emphasize. I understand that it was 24 hours old. Also, you're not in any position where you're going to send a message to an agent, especially one who's in a desperate spot this year with a rough off season in Scott Boras, that you now are going to go that route. My issue is to say that it's encouraging, again, versus what? That he was going to be out for the season? I don't think anybody was really thinking that. I don't think people necessarily thought it was going to be what it was, which is that he's out for this amount of time. And yeah, he may be able to start throwing in 5 to 7 days, but this delays his ability to start ramping up for the season. And furthermore, this isn't a one-off injury, and that it's like an oblique would suck, but an oblique, because you just got to deal with it and rest, but it would be an outlier injury for him. It hadn't been a problem before. My premise that I would keep going back to is he dealt with this hamstring issue, 2 IL stints, as recently as September of 2022, and here it is popping up in an inning and 2/3 in South Florida on Monday.
It'd be like Jack Flaherty saying, my shoulder hurts.
That's what I'm getting at.
Heard that
albeit
before.
a shoulder being a much more severe situation. But yes, it's been an issue, and that's my point. But hey, man, if people are content with it, then God bless. You'll be very satisfied with what you're going to get. You can give your thoughts, 314-881-TMA5. That is the number for the Jeff Lotman text inbox, JEFFLOTTMANN.com. Munganess, the sponsor of our 7 o'clock hour here on TMA and the Daily Fantasy Sports Showdown, which is coming your way today. Doug, you took one on the chin last week. I know you were watching that while you were in Tampa and thought about driving over there to see Austin Eckroat on Monday.
I did watch just a little bit of it. It was on TV there.
I made $10 for the kids.
Oh, did you? Nice.
Yeah, how about that one?
And I had you guys miss the cut, too.
Finally.
StLouisAcura.com, AltonToyota.com. It's Munganest. And then they got a secret number for the audience, 314-252-0029.
Straight to the muckety-mucks.
Yeah, you go right to them. Jamie Burkhardt, Clayton Patterson, Peter Munganest. And then in the service department, Ryan Seiberg. Even if you didn't get your car from there, good at service there. It's Munganest, St. Louis Acura, and Munganest Burkhardt, Alton Toyota. StLouisAcura.com and AltonToyota.com. Sponsor of the 7 o'clock hour here on TMA, and also sponsor of our Daily Fantasy Sports Showdown, which, like the Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day, is coming your way at 9:45. Can Blueberry Pop win every single Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day this year? I don't know. He could, in the month of March, I should say, not this year. But so far, he's 3 for 3 in the month of March. The Design Air Heating and Cooling. Doug, you might be back from Florida, but how about this weather in St. Louis? Now, I know it's going to be a little rough. Some rain in the forecast tomorrow and Friday and Saturday, and a high of 51 on Saturday. But after that, listen to this, Bill.
Okay.
Sunny, high of 61 Sunday. Sunny, high of 66 Monday. Sunny, high of 70 Tuesday. Sunny, high of 70 Wednesday. Partly cloudy, high of 75 Thursday. Partly cloudy, high of 70 on Friday. How do you do? Go to Design Air and get that air conditioning checked, because Iggy has announced it. Winter is over.
Best fall and winter in the history of St. Louis.
Think about
my
that.
judgment.
Without a doubt.
Best weather that we've ever
A
had.
handful of days that you came out and was a little cold to the point, God, it's freezing.
Just a few.
Other than that, nothing.
It's been great. You guys been playing a lot of golf?
Who needs Florida?
No.
Yeah.
I haven't
played around.
Going out with my boys. I was out with my boys yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah. It's fantastic to be able to play here in February and March.
Indeed. Greens are rolling, I'll tell you that. It's Design Air Heating and Cooling, online at designairservice.com. Official HVAC provider of TMA and the Tim McKernan Show podcast. Design Air Heating and Cooling, Seth Goldcamp, 4th generation sponsor of TMA and the Tim McKernan Show podcast. Jackson, why don't you tell us where we can place a wager?
Sure, Tim. That'd be Circa Sports Book out there. You see, they had the great Circa Sports Book out there in Las Vegas. KG and O-Town and I were out there in August. It was a lot of fun. Stadium swim up there. Ton of fun to bet on games over there. But they've taken all the fun there from the Circa Sportsbook in Las Vegas and brought it to Illinois so that you can enjoy it here in the St. Louis metropolitan area. Because if you live here in St. Louis, you just make the short drive across the river. Or if you live in Illinois already, sign up for the Circa Sports app, because the Circa Sports app is sports betting the way it should be, with big app bets, high betting limits, tight money line splits, and the best customer service around. Plowhawk said that the game of college basketball is ruined, but I think he's going to be whistling a different tune come the big dance here in just a couple of weeks, because it's so much fun to bet on the games. That first opening weekend, there's basketball, wall-to-wall games all the time. So much fun to enjoy, and you can enjoy it as a little bit more if you're wagering with the Circus Sports app. Visit circusports.com for more details and get ready to start betting like a pro. If you or someone you know may have a problem with gambling, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
There you go. And if you're looking for season-long wagers on Major League Baseball, Doug, per the guy who, from my standpoint, is outstanding, and I don't really think he's a tout. He's just a math nerd. He says the team with the biggest discrepancy on their win projection and what their over-under is for an overplay, the Oakland A's.
Really?
Their season total over-under is 56.5, but this guy has them winning 67 games. The worst one, as far as an under goes, the Reds projected to win 82.5, and he's got them winning 76 games. Interestingly enough, the Cubs set is 84.5, and he's got them winning 78.5. So those are the two best under plays to make. For the record, the Cardinals are right on the money, according to his projections. Got him at 84.5. And he's the DraftKings number is 84.5, and he's got him at 84.4. So there it is. That's right on target for what his projections are. So do with that what you want.
Have you seen some of the pictures of the new stadium where the A's are moving?
That's where I was segueing into.
Oh, God,
it's unbelievable.
Yeah, the pictures of where are they now and where are they going are pretty incredible.
Because where they currently play in Oakland is beautiful.
Worst stadium in the history of baseball, possibly.
Okay, I got
at least over the last 50 years.
New stadium, that strip view they have from home plate, it's like almost a little bit of center field. Oh my gosh, looks gorgeous.
I don't know how accurate that will be to what winds up happening, because again, we saw the Rams Stadium on the riverfront in St. Louis featuring surfers.
Best thing I've ever seen. Yachts, clear blue water, the best renderings of all time.
Right.
It's called a spherical armadillo. Do you like that, Doug?
I don't mind it. I don't mind a spherical armadillo, although an armadillo bite can give you leprosy.
Ooh, heads up.
Yeah.
Interesting.
If you run into one today. Yeah, so, I mean, hey, if that's what winds up happening, that thing's going to be incredible. Right at the south end of the strip.
It is
and the
amazing.
way they have it set up, you're facing the north, and so you face the rest of the strip. That's at the south end of the strip. And boy, the Excalibur is a beautiful property.
They're going to do something with that,
The
right?
Excalibur will probably not be standing by the time the A's are there, if indeed the A's go there.
'Cause I think that's the only problem.
Kind of looks like the Sydney Opera House, Plow.
It's amazing to me how
gorgeous.
important the stadium is to the overall well-being of the franchise. I mean, it sounds like a stupid statement, but really, you would think it's how the team plays.
I mean, if
would
you're
be the most
sitting
important
there,
thing.
look at that. That is absolutely insane.
It really is.
Like,
And they
that's
got
one of the most beautiful images I've ever seen.
Looks like a roof, not a hard roof, but it looks almost like a canvas draped across it. But I'm sure it's sturdier than that
It looks
to
like
keep the heat off of you.
Looks like this. They kind of took it from, like Tim said, the Sydney Opera House, and almost like the sphere that they have too, because it looks like they're kind of this netting, the clear. I don't know. It's crazy cool though.
And a stadium like that will make people want to go, even if the team is bad, just to see the stadium. Wrigley Field is like that. Fenway Park is like that. Even in down years, you want to go there because you want to go to the stadium.
And therefore, what part of the model has to be for the A's, if this were to happen, is not just Las Vegas residents, but also people who are visiting Las Vegas go, let's go to the game, let's go to that stadium. So it has to have that kind of appeal and not just be a standard old ballpark.
Yeah.
The Cardinals model is outdated, and Mozeliak has 1 foot out the door. They haven't proven they can develop impactful Major League talent, and they aren't going to spend the money it takes in free agency. They were lucky Arenado and Goldschmidt wanted to come here and hamstrung the Rockies and Diamondbacks on the returns they received. I hate to say it, but I hope they crash and burn this year so it will bring about needed change. That's from the Table Rock Lake Monster.
What kind of best fan in baseball is that?
Table Rock Lake Monster,
We
calling
have-
the Collier and Thompson phone lines.
I will say we've gotten awfully spoiled for the success that they've had over the last 2 decades to be that down on the team and the model that they built.
So I talked about that on 101 yesterday, and I think on the outside looking in, if you're like Greg Amsinger, who's a great guy, St. Louisan, who's on MLB Network, and sometimes we'll BS about this. He's been on the podcast, and if he's in studio with Randy Carricker, I'll talk with him in between shows. And the perception around the country, around baseball people, is how could Cardinal fans be spoiled? And I get that. I told a little story yesterday about when I was playing golf out of town last year, and it was like in July, and the guy I was with goes, So what's it like in St. Louis this year? And I go, what do you mean? He goes, to have the Cardinals suck for the first time in like forever. And I go, oh, people aren't happy. He goes, I just love seeing it just because you guys are so lucky that year in and year out they're good.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the issue isn't necessarily the success of the organization. I think the issue is the feeling between the fan base and the organization that there is distrust and that the fan base is not appreciated for its loyalty and the organization is not necessarily trying to win championships. And there's a difference between the fan bases across baseball just being angry that they don't sign free agents, because that goes on all over the place. And I'm talking about with organizations with big payrolls. But this is a different set of circumstances, and that's why I jumped on that thing about yesterday being quote-unquote encouraging. I'm just like, most people are going to find out that Sonny Gray is going to miss his opening day start and go, what in the hell happened? And now we already have a rotation with a guy who's turning 37 in a few weeks in Lance Lynn, and Gibson at 36, and Gray at 34, and then the other two are not necessarily guys people are excited about. One is a big question mark, and Steven Matz, and hopefully Michaelis can bounce back, and then you're going to sit there and call that encouraging. It's just, it's a self-inflicted wound that only plays a role in building a bigger chasm of distrust between the organization and the fan base. And that's the issue. I'll take the Cardinals' record from 2000 to present day all day long and be very grateful for it. But what's taken place over the last 5 or 10 years is a feeling that the organization is not necessarily shooting straight and also misjudging talent, whether it be from outside the organization or the ones they've parted ways with and seen have success elsewhere.
Yeah, and the biggest problem, as I see it, has been their inability to draft and develop quality young pitching. They thought they had somebody in Flaherty. He got hurt. Other than him, who has been a difference-making type of young pitcher that they have developed over the last half dozen years or so? None come to mind immediately unless I'm missing somebody. And you just have to have that pipeline coming up. The successful organizations do. So even if your position players have a down year or two, you lose a couple guys to injuries, or you make a bad trade, you can get through it because you're in most games because you've got a bunch of good pitching. And they just have not had that in the last few years.
I mean, Michael Walker comes to mind as like you're
You're going back now 15 years.
You have to, because Sandy, that Miami was the one that kind of brought him up. I mean, you can't claim that one. You can't claim Zach Gallen of, Arizona. Walker comes to mind. I mean, Flaherty in short stints, Carlos in short stints. I can't think of one in terms of that it's a homegrown talent that has been successful for several years.
Had they just not made that trade for Ozuna and still had Alcantara and Zach Gallen, we probably wouldn't be having the conversation right now. We'd say they got two guys right here.
I still think
but that was a disastrous trade for them.
I think I don't want to put an umbrella over the topic, but I think everything started with Oscar Tavares and death. Then you rushed to get Fowler, and I think it's just the trickle down. You just rushed to get a couple pitchers after that too. I mean, I think that was kind of the start of, because you had a cornerstone number one prospect that you were going to put in the outfield, and now you don't.
Your thoughts are welcome on the topic. Jeff Lotman, text inbox. Jeff Lotman, Compass Realty, JEFFLOTTMANN.com. 314-881-TMA5. Doug has never heard a phone call on the Collier and Thompson phone lines.
I haven't.
And so many ladies call in now, 636-9004-TMA. You can call in and then send an email in for the Design, Air, Heating, and Cooling email today, the morning after, at InsideSTL.com. That is the Design, Air, Heating, and Cooling email of the day. We'll have the Munganess Daily Fantasy Sports Showdown coming your way. And on the other side of the break, Jeremy Rutherford will join us, presented by Mark Hanna of Evergreen Wealth Strategies, as the Blues have a 2-goal lead early. In the second period, it was scoreless through one, and Joel Hofer made one of the best saves. I don't know if anybody saw that.
I missed that particular.
My God,
it was unbelievable.
Oh, wow.
What?
Where did that come from?
He was behind the goal,
yeah,
and then kind of waddled over and made that. Was unbelievable.
Yeah.
You were watching instead of the NBA?
I'm trying.
I mean, Missouri was playing then too.
Yeah, well,
you've given up on the Tigers.
I'm a defeated man.
So we'll talk it over with JR regarding the trade deadline, because Doug, Friday 2:00 St. Louis time. Is number 89 still here? Could there be a surprise in the offing? We'll see what JR has to say. That's coming up, presented to you by Mark Hanna on the other side of the break. Send your two-part questions in to the Jeff Lotman Compass Realty text inbox 314-881-TMA5. This is TMA, presented to you by Brown & Crouppen.
Live from the Michelob Ultra Studios, KPNT-FM HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis. This is TMA All Day.
The choice of a lawyer is important and shouldn't be based on an ad.
If you're seriously hurt in an accident, you'll want all the money you deserve. That's called justice. But there wouldn't be lawyers if justice was easy. No, justice is not easy. It's fought for and it's won. At Brown & Crouppen, we fight for justice every day. If you want some, call 222-2222. Because at Brown & Crouppen, justice is our business.
The Illinois Recovery Center is dedicated to providing precise and authentic care to those seeking help and treatment. Recovery, it's not just a goal, it's a transformative journey. At Illinois Recovery Center, you'll find an unwavering commitment to provide the support, guidance, and personalized care you or your loved one needs to rediscover a life filled with purpose, strength, and lasting renewal. If you or someone you know wants more information about the Illinois Recovery Center, please call 888-472-9559 or visit IllinoisRecoveryCenter.com.
When we think of a real estate agent, we think of somebody simply selling our home or finding us a new one. I mean, they're all the same, right?
Okay, here's the comps. We'll take some pics, we'll post them, and I'll get back to you, okay?
A home is life-changing, and your real estate agent should reflect that. Honesty, integrity, and someone who will go above and beyond to make your dreams come true.
The Jeff Lotman Group with Compass Realty. We're different because you're different. We want what you want. Experience the difference today at jefflotman.com, bringing people and properties together.
TMA listeners have a lot to think through financially. Saving for retirement and college while also paying bills and enjoying life along the way. Call Mark Hanna. Mark works with you to design a strategy to do your finances right. It's a straightforward approach that starts with a 15-minute phone call to discuss your needs. Visit evergreenstl.com or give Mark a call at 314-889-0503 today. Mark Hanna offers securities through Equitable Advisors, LLC, member FINRA, SIPC, a broker-dealer. Equitable Advisors, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Evergreen Wealth Strategies is not a registered investment advisor and is not owned or operated by Equitable Advisors or Equitable Network.
John, I'm so tired of this kitchen. We haven't updated anything since we moved in. The stove looks like it's from the 90s, and the rest is... Are you even listening to me?
Did you say something, honey? Yeah, no, kitchen's fine. We have cabinets. There's food in the cabinets. We're good.
Oh my God. Guys, if this sounds a little familiar, trust me, your wife is probably right. It's time for a remodel. Collier & Thompson is the company to trust. Not just for kitchens and bathrooms, but for any interior remodeling job. Need a new man cave? Collier & Thompson. Office? Collier & Thompson. Bar? You got it. Collier & Thompson. They even do wine rooms and fireplace walls. Collier & Thompson is your go-to source for every design consideration. They carry the best cabinets, appliances, and countertops in the business. And better yet, it's all under one roof. No need to drive around to 5 to 10 different businesses for one job. At Collier & Thompson, they do it all. Their showroom is on Manchester Road in Baldwin, right next to Uncle Bill's Pancake House. Let Collier & Thompson bring your dream remodel to reality and come home to quality. Online at collierandthompson.com.
Hey, this is Tim McKernan, and I am here with James Carlton of the Carlton State Farm Insurance Agency. James, I love getting emails from listeners who support the sponsors. Got one from a client of yours who switched, and you immediately saved him $1,000, and it meant the world to him.
The area that we're really having an impact on people's finances are people with drivers under the age of 25. We are seeing material savings for these types of clients, hundreds, if not even thousands of dollars per year.
James Carlton, Carlton State Farm Insurance Agency, 314-961-4800, or go online at carltoninsurance.net.
Biggie's Restaurant and Bar has been a staple of the community for over 30 years and is serving your favorites like the steak sandwich, waffle fries, and so much more. It's not just the food that's rocking. With a full bar and patio, Biggie's is the perfect spot for lunch, dinner, and a little laughter. Biggie's original hours are back. Open 11 a.m. till midnight, Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday. And 11 a.m. till 1 a.m. on Friday and Saturday. Check out the full menu at biggiesrestaurant.com and stop in today.
Hey, this is Tim McKernan, and I am here with a great TMA sponsor, and that is Longo Biggs Injury Law Firm. And you may hear a bunch of out-of-state law firms advertising here and there all over on billboards and so on and so forth. But the thing is, oftentimes their goal is to just settle and move on, and that's not what you guys do.
Yeah, this is CD Longo, and you hear us talking a lot about maximizing the value of cases, but what does that actually mean? Well, As Tim said, there's lots of personal injury lawyers in St. Louis, and everyone handles cases differently. We focus on getting the highest dollar amount for your injuries, not just getting a resolution quickly. We're constantly tracking all the settlements and verdicts in the area. This helps us advise our clients on whether a settlement offer is too low. And if the amount of compensation being offered is too low, we are happy to file lawsuits and proceed to trial to ensure our clients receive an amount that is fair. Visit our website or Google us at Longo Biggs Injury Law.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Urban Dictionary defines thirsty as purposely, knowingly, and recklessly attempting to gain fame to boost self-esteem. So, are you thirsty? Well, TMA has you covered. Become a part of the TMA Listener of the Month Club. You nominate yourself for a monthly award. And if you win, you get recognition and stuff to help you satisfy that insatiable thirst. We're talking January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, etc. Go to TMASTL.com or the TMA app. Give us your name, a photo, and other pertinent information. Tell us why you deserve to be TMA Listener of the Month. And if you don't want to use your real name or photo, we don't really care. The TMA Listener of the Month. Get recognized just for being you or fake you or whatever. Quenched by Milagro Tequila. Welcome to the brighter side of tequila with Milagro in the morning after on KPNT HD2.
105.7 HD2. It's the Brown and Crouppen Morning After.
Yeah, you're right. This is a Sick Weed Wednesday. Welcome back to TMA. It's presented to you by Brown and Crouppen. My name is Timothy Michael McKernan, Douglas Elvin Vaughn, and Darren Atkins. He goes by the Plowboy, Peoria Plowboy, if you want to follow him on Twitter. And then there's Jackson Burkett, and he's in the Horton Watkins studios. And Tommy Mattern said to lock the door when Iggy's not back from break. So, Doug?
You going to do it today?
I mean, I'd be blamed, just like every other day.
Yeah, you'd break his heart. You'd absolutely break his
it on
heart.
that one.
Yeah. It might be fun to hear him rattle the door just to try to get in and then unlock it. That might be worth it.
So either way, that's what we got going on here. Welcome to the 8 o'clock hour. Jeremy Rutherford's going to join us here coming up, and looking forward to talking it over with JR. I really am looking forward to talking it over with JR. I'm talking about that Nonling. That Nonling knows his stuff. Doug and I were talking about it in the commercial break. We really we're both on the same page. Love to see the Blues trade Jordan Kyrou. It's nothing personal.
Yeah.
Just don't think it. And like I said, I don't think it's going to happen. Like if you're just giving me even money between now and 2 o'clock on Friday. But if I could get a nice set of odds, I'd throw a little something on that. I still think they're going to trade Buchnevich. I suppose that the way that they wouldn't would be if they're going, okay, we're going to trade Kyrou at some point in the offseason before that no trade clause kicks in 2025, and then we'll use those dollars to re-sign Buchnevich if they're really high on him. That's something to keep an eye on. You saw the Golden Knights make a move with the Capitals yesterday. Gensel's still out there, and I would imagine that he will be going. They said, actually, I was watching that last night in the coverage of the Blues and Islanders, that the expectation is the Penguins want to move him like today. They don't want to wait until the deadline. So he will go, and then wherever he goes, then would the team that didn't get him go, okay, we got to get Buchnevich because he's the next best thing as far as a forward goes. So anyway, we'll find out what Jeremy Rutherford has to say. He's brought to you by Mark Hanna of Evergreen Wealth Strategies. Another new sponsor here on the program, in addition to Collier & Thompson in the phone line, 636-9004-TMA, and Schaefer Door, sponsor of our 9 o'clock hour. It's Schaefer Door. Doug, you ever have the spring on your garage door break?
I've had it break in the middle of the night.
Oh, my God.
You hear a loud bang, and we said, what in the world was that? And you have no idea what it is because you don't see it. It's just up there.
Right.
And it's just, I guess, tension over time as it gets older, it'll just break. Not necessarily when the door's being used.
And then you say, well, who am I going to go to? I got an answer for you. Schaefer Door. That's who you're going to go to.
Well, you should, yeah.
Sponsor of the 9 o'clock hour. SCHAEFERDOOR.com. And, well, they have done the right thing. And you know what they've done? They've set up a line specific for our audience. You can call or text them when you need them. It's 636-782-3608. This is going to get you the quickest response
time. It's Schaefer Door. They service all kinds of garage doors with both emergency service and new installations. And what they do is they block out times on Monday morning because they know that people have these things happen over the weekend, and that way they can get to them first thing on Monday morning. It's Schaefer Door, SCHAEFERDOOR.com. They service commercial doors as well. So if you run a business or warehouse with big, tall doors, Schaefer is experienced in these types of jobs as well. It's Schaefer Door. Welcome aboard, TMA. Schaefer Door, sponsor of our 9 o'clock hour. Coming up, we will have the Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day. We will have the Munganess St. Louis Acura, Munganess Burkhardt, Alton Toyota Daily Fantasy Sports Showdown as we head to Bay Hill for another signature event in which the PGA Tour couldn't even fill out the field. And 69 players instead of 70 will play at the Arnold Palmer.
Why couldn't they fill the
Invitation.
field?
It's a mess. Hey, Full Swing debuting today, by the way. Friends of the Feather.
Does it release all of them?
I would imagine they go week by week.
I don't think so. It's Netflix, isn't it?
Yeah, but sometimes they do that.
Netflix usually releases them all.
They just release their load?
Yeah. That's what now Max doesn't, but Netflix usually releases.
Jackson, do you know the answer on that one?
I don't.
Come on, Berkey.
Netflix needs to edge a little more. You can't just give the whole line.
Nice. I like that. I like edging.
No, it could be because it's their content. Normally, Netflix, when they pick up like another series, it's over. Like,
It'll be one at a time.
Yeah, because that's their own content.
One at a time, Iggy?
Yeah.
Or Jackson? Or
Yeah,
Nurse?
they're doing it one at a time.
That makes sense
Producer
because
Joe?
they own the content. Now, something like Wentworth, which is a prison show, it's released in Australia and then UK. And when the season's over, then they go to Netflix, so they have the whole season.
You like shows about men behind bars?
It's women. So that they're producing this whole
Yeah,
thing.
but you didn't answer the question.
Yeah, it's women. I've never seen a men behind. Well, Oz. I liked Oz. That was men in prison.
Big Old Fan says all Full Swing's been released.
Let me know if it's good. I invested last year and I got too much information about the cut line. And it was good to see the background, but it's like the F1 series. I just needed to see one season. It's basically regurgitated. The Live Golf might be fun, but Rory will not be banty in this one as he was last year, which I thought was funny to watch a guy kind of crumble on camera.
Well, you don't know because they filmed this a while back before.
Well,
he
they got
changed his
cameras on
tune.
him on June 6th for the infamous CNBC interview with Jay Monahan and Yasser Al-Ramai, and I can't wait to see that. And Big Old Fan is adamant that all have been released.
I just saw first episode release date March
Today,
6th.
March 6th, right?
Yeah, and then I don't see any other episode released.
Big Old
JR
Fan-
is on hold, by the way.
Big Old Fan got a long
I'm aware of
time
that.
on his
Okay,
hands.
sorry.
No, it's fine. You know what you're doing, Jackson? The right thing.
Who was he?
I wanted to see if we could get the correct information on the Full
No, I
Swing
get
thing, 'cause
it.
I'll probably be watching.
Very fair.
All right, Jeremy Rutherford is brought to you by Mark Hanna of Evergreen Wealth Strategies. Usually Mark is in, because usually JR is with us at 9 o'clock, but he is traveling to New Jersey to be with the Blues as the trade deadline is, Doug, would you say 54 hours away? I guess
Something like
that's
that.
about what
I don't
it is.
really count hours.
Blues losing last night despite getting a 2-0 lead, some big saves from Joel Hofer, but then it got away from him. And Jordan Kyrou delivered an inspirational soundbite following the game. Plowhawk, do you have that? Take a listen. This was unbelievable, Doug. I think this kind of fired everybody up.
Yeah, I mean, we're up 2-0 there. We're in a good spot there on the road, and we just let it slip away from us.
So after
So passionate. He really does have that hockey bug, doesn't he?
What did he say?
Crushed by the
well, it's about a 60-second soundbite, but we can still play it again. Go ahead, take it.
I don't know what he said at the end.
Yeah, I mean, we're up 2-0 there. We're in a good spot there on the road, and we just let it slip away from us.
What?
You should be a journalist.
Let it slip away from us.
Right.
Oh, I didn't.
Yeah.
Thought he snatched the blade from us.
Could have. I heard let it slip away from us. JR, what'd you hear?
I heard a guy who was ready to get on the bus and go to the hotel.
Yeah, that was a tough one because even if they are going to be sellers, they are still in the mix mathematically for a playoff spot. And you're going, okay, 2-0. You get the big save from Hofer. Here they come. And then, Doug, you know what? The 2-goal lead in hockey, you would rather be up
You'd rather be behind by 4.
Right.
You don't want to be up by 2.
That's exactly right. JR, what'd you see last night as it got away from them after they had a large number of shots on goal? I saw your statistic, and then they had, a total of 9 after going up 2-0?
Yeah, they went up 2-0 on the 11th shot of the game for them, and then the last 31 minutes they had 9 shots on goal, and 2 or 3 of those came in the very late going. So honestly, after you go up 2-0, they had about 6 or 7 shots on goal for about the next 29 minutes. And, I hate to put this in simple terms, but when I watched the game last night, I was here in St. Louis. I'm, like you said, heading to New York today. I watched 2 teams, one looking like they hope to make the playoffs, and they're going to do everything they can to call back into a 2-0 deficit and win the hockey game. And I saw another team that just didn't look like they were all that interested. Not all of them, but a large majority of them. I pointed out on Twitter last night, Tim, that wraparound goal by Horvat, Saad could have bought a ticket.
Yeah.
He watched the play develop, and there's just no resistance. So I don't know if they've accepted their fate or what, but it wasn't pretty again last night.
I like to get your perspective on this trade deadline, and I know that's why you are flying to New York. Doug thinks you're flying into Newark. I'm going to say LaGuardia. Where are you going?
Look at that, Tim. That's why you win a lot of bets.
Heavens.
Going into LaGuardia, and then we'll take a train over to Newark tomorrow.
That's nice. You should be there around midnight tonight. But JR, you're there for the trade deadline. What odds would you put it at this moment that number 89 is going to be on the move? Pavel Buchnevich, for those of you who don't know your numbers.
Have I ever put odds on anything on this show before?
I don't think so. I don't think we ask you to give arbitrary percentages on this or Balloon Party.
No, I hear you. With the Buchnevich situation, I'm still going low on that one. And, I don't know how low to go because, it could happen. And people say, hey, you said 10% on TMA. But, I still think it's 10, 20%. Now, that's with me saying that Army is a secretive guy. And teams have been interested. And could he be looking at this as the one way he could kind of shake things up and get the roster moving? I know people say, well, then why would you trade Buchnevich? Well, among the assets that you're going to trade, unless you're going to trade Colton Parayko, he's your biggest one. So I think that's why you think about making that move. But I just continue to see this as an off-season move and something that would be difficult at this time of year.
You talk about playing without a lot of heart and a lot of desire last night. How do you think it ever gets to that? I mean, there's a lot of guys out there playing for their careers. There's still professional athletes playing in front of 19,000 people. How do you ever get to that point in hockey where you're just not going 100% all the time?
Yeah, so it's the age-old question, Doug, and here's the way I answer it in this situation. I don't know how to answer it, with people who've asked over the years about Blues teams or sports in general. But to me, it's a collection of the players that are on this roster. There's a reason that Kasperi Kapanen was on waivers. There's a reason why some of these guys have moved teams, one after the next. And there's a reason, why this team wasn't projected to do well, and it's because of the roster. And I think that when you put, like I said, a collection of those types of players together, you're going to get what you're going to get. Now, that's not to say that all of them are like that. You got the Robert Thomases and those guys that are going to battle their butt off. But when you put this group of players on the ice and put them in the situation that they're in, they know it's a retool. They know it's an interim coach. Are they playing for this guy? They don't even know if he'll be here next year. I think you get what we've been seeing on the ice.
Isn't there a difference between not trying and not being very good?
Yeah, and I think what we have here is both. So I think you have a team that, at best, like Doug Armstrong said at the start of the season, could fight for third place. We now know that battling for a wild card was probably the ceiling. And then once you are aware of your situation, maybe you got some guys that just aren't giving it that effort. And honestly, guys, that pains me to say that. Like, the last thing I want to do as a journalist, a sports writer, a guy who can't skate up at Queenie Park, is to say that these guys aren't trying. It's not every night. We've seen them play well recently, but what I saw last night, especially from some certain individuals, it just didn't look like the playoffs mattered to them last night.
That's pretty damning, and that's not real commonplace in St. Louis, I will say. So, if anything, I tip my cap to you for having the balls to say it, especially in the position you're in. And I noticed that with the tweet regarding Saad on the Horvath goal. I'm like, oh, JR is... And on top of it, you're flying to New York to be with them, so it's not like you're hiding out in, let's say, a studio next to a pisser, for example, just as an example.
Gosh.
Doug.
Yeah.
You brought up Parayko, and... I know that there's been a little bit of rumbling regarding him here. Do you think that's anything that the Blues would do, especially if there's a big market for him?
The only way I could see that is if they're just absolutely capitalizing on how well he's playing, and they've got an offer, or they've got a couple teams nibbling, and Doug Armstrong is looking at the situation like, well, how can I alter this roster? I have to do something. All these guys have no trade clauses that I've given them, and there's only going to be a few options to change things up. And if Colton Parayko is one of the few guys that would say, yeah, I'd waive my no trade, or you got a couple teams, like I said, in the past, Toronto, I think Edmonton's been interested. I spoke to somebody close to Parayko about a year ago, and he felt that Edmonton was the only place that he would waive his no trade to go to, Edmonton being close to his home. So, who knows what could happen with that situation. I'd have to put it at a 10% chance if it's going to happen, but people have to understand that in this business, things can just happen. I can be on here saying 10 or 20% on Buchnevich and Parayko, and it happens this afternoon. That's just how things go in this business, and especially with the wild card, not the playoff wild card, but the wild card of what the Blues situation is. Like, sometimes it's easy to predict what might happen. It's not easy to predict what could happen in the state that the Blues are in right now.
Jeremy Rutherford, our guest, every Wednesday, usually at 9 o'clock, here a little earlier because he is traveling today. He's brought to you by Mark Hanna, Evergreen Wealth Strategies. Mark Hanna is a wonderful gentleman. He's online at evergreenstl.com. Everyone needs a financial advisor, and I can't say enough good things about Mark Hanna. He did text in saying, I can't make it for the JR segment, but would have shared this. As a fan, I want the Blues to win and have a good run, but big picture, these recent losses are the best result to bring the ultimate goal of a championship. A winning run would make a sell mentality unlikely, and with a deeper hole, Armstrong's hands are forced all the more. The value of Buchnevich especially, but Saad, Krug, and even Parayko is high to the Blues, but even higher to Cup contenders. Fans want to win, but fans will support the team even in a rebuild as long as the team is honest about what it's doing. Armstrong needs to maintain his credibility and sell now to expedite a contender in the future. And maybe bring back Ricard Person, Doug. So I didn't...
That would make sense.
So those are his thoughts, JR. Your thoughts on what Mark Hanna of Evergreen Wealth Strategies...
I'm wondering why Jackson even called me. I could have just got on the plane and you guys read that.
Yeah, awesome. That kind of summed it up nicely.
Yeah. Well done, Hanson.
Yeah, really, Mark does a great job, except for the Ricard Person thing. I don't know if that would have really helped their situation right now, but I think that he sums it up nicely. The biggest question I would ask, not just him but anybody, is who are you willing to sell beyond the UFAs, beyond the Scandellas, and I'm not saying there's interest in these other guys, but the Kapanens, the Vranas, the Sammy Blaze, because you're not going to get anything that's going to alter what you have here by moving those guys. So if we get down to it, people ask, are they going to trade Buchnevich? Are they going to trade Parayko? Are they going to trade Kyrou? Which of these guys would you trade? And then which direction would you go with it? Who are you bringing in that's going to make Blues fans happy and content with the way things are going to replace those guys?
Well, they certainly shook it up last year at this time. Got rid of some of the biggest names in recent franchise history. So I guess it shouldn't surprise us at all if they shuffle the deck again.
Yeah, for sure. And a little bit different situation, with those guys on expiring contracts, O'Reilly and Tarasenko, and not to say there's a bidding war, but there was a ton of interest in especially O'Reilly from those playoff contenders last year, and the Blues got a haul. Doug Armstrong got a haul. He did a great job. Like, that deadline last year, that was so beneficial to the Blues in terms of bringing in these 3 draft picks, first-round draft picks, and kind of getting this retool ignited. We'll look back in 5 or 6 years and think that was a great situation. It's just that these circumstances right now are completely different, and there's a lot of pivotal decisions here.
This is a good question. It comes from one of our listeners, and I know it's something we talked about at the beginning a little bit, but let's go further into it because whether or not it happens over the next 48 hours or so, or over the next number of months, we'll see. But it's lurking in the undercurrent of the Blues organization. Greetings, JR. Do you think that Doug Armstrong is behind the scenes pulling his hair out that he gave Jordan Kyrou the contract extension? Obviously, publicly he won't say it, but I wonder what he'd say if you gave him the truth serum.
I think he has to be. And, we could have him on the line here. I kind of use that phrase a lot. We could have him on the line here, and we ask him, and even if he's on the truth serum, we're having a beer or whatever, I think he might make a case to tell you why it was a good decision and how with players who produced like Kyrou at such a young age, you got to project things out. And if you don't get those guys signed, you could have a situation like a Matthew Tkachuk who forces his way out of Calgary. There's so many things that we don't think about that Doug Armstrong does think about when he's signing a guy like Kyrou. But it just has turned into a situation where I think a lot of people can second guess whether that was too soon to give Jordan Kyrou the big money. I mean, I think that we're at that point. So, would he admit it? I don't know if he'd fully admit it, but I'd know that he says he would tell you that he's got a lot of reservation about the player that Kyrou is going to become and whether he's actually going to live up to that $65 million.
Because you're disappointed in the Blues' performance, is there a chance that you just won't go to the game at all tomorrow night and instead you'll just hit the New York nightlife scene?
Well, that's a good question. Meatpacking district.
Yeah.
Well, there's a reason I wasn't in Winnipeg last week, and I'm headed to New York.
Oh. Yeah, it doesn't seem like that's a coincidence.
Yeah.
Passed on the trip to Manitoba and going to Manhattan.
I know that he wants to get rid of the contract. He'd love to get rid of the contract, but he's not just going to give him away. What would Armstrong be looking for if he dealt Kyrou?
Yeah, you'd have to find a taker, first of all. I mean, 7 years is a lot for a guy who's been as inconsistent as Jordan Kyrou has been. However, with the upside, with the ceiling, with, teams and scouts and everybody out there that can see what he has, I mean, we can talk all we want about Kyrou's shortcomings, but there aren't 10 players in the league, 15 players who, when Jordan Kyrou takes the puck down the ice, they can do more than him. And that's why you want to be able to see it on a regular basis. So what could they get? What would they want to get? They'd obviously want to get some offensive upside. I would hope that you wouldn't have to juice it up by including draft picks in it to move that contract. I mean, you almost get to a point, whether it's now or in the next couple of years, that if you want to unload Kyrou, you might have to do something like that. I don't think the time is now. But they definitely, even though they got Snuggerud, Dvorsky, all those guys in the way, they'd have to find some offensive talent coming back in a deal like that.
Let me get some two-parters in here because Doug missed those while being away. Let's see what we got. Morn, JR, did you ever pick a side in the Luke Horak versus Iggy one-sided, quote, creepy feud? Also, what's your thoughts on being advised to open a coffee shop in an area that has 35 of them in a 2-mile radius? That's from glove blogger Tom Traven.
How about a hockey question in there?
Well, I'll say that Horak's sleeping right now and Iggy's sitting next to you, so I'm siding with Iggy.
There you go. That's how you make your decisions. Two-part question. I understand the Blues are playing Torrey Krug a lot of money. However, he is minus 26 and tied for 10th overall in the NHL for the worst plus-minus, but he continues to get more time on ice. Why? Second question. Falk looked terrible last night. Is he still hurt? That's from Steve in the Westplex. Yeah, I was wondering about Falk. That he was out there for 2 of those goals and didn't look like the guy that we had seen before he was on the shelf. What do you think there?
Yeah, well, with Krug, quickly, I think that we know the answer. They tried to trade him last year, so we know what they think about him, and he's played better this year. But you try to move him, and he invoked the no trade, so that's a tough one. Falk, I wanted to tweet that last night. Is he still banged up, and is that why we kind of see that slow step? And he just wasn't able to make a couple plays last night. I mean, that almost has to be the case because he's better than that. I know it hasn't been a great year defensively, but you just don't often see Justin Falk get beat like he did last night. So I do think the injury could be an issue still.
Doug, I'll give one more two-parter because JR is on his way to LaGuardia. And
yeah, they're loading up here too. So yeah, how about if you got a three-parter? You got any three-parters?
Oh wow,
three-parters.
See, I'm just going to go to the top of the
Somebody was asking about the coaching situation, and you last week we were talking about how, there's a good chance that the Leafs and Bruins play each other in the first round. Whoever loses that, they might make a change. Even as good as Montgomery has been in the regular season there, but another first-round exit. And then you got Sheldon Keefe. The Devils made a change yesterday. Is that late in the season? Lindy Ruff, who's been around, the Blues beat him in 2016 when he was with the Stars. Do you think that's a direction they're going to go with, like an experienced guy? I realize Lindy Ruff is probably at the tail end. Maybe that is the last time he's a head coach. What do you think on that? Are they going to want to go with an experienced coach?
I think eventually they're going to have to decide to go that way. And look, I feel like Drew Bannister's done a good job. I just think that it's going to be tough for Doug Armstrong to look at the situation and say, hey, look how the season ended. We didn't fight. We didn't battle down the stretch. And again, no issue with Bannister on that. That's the roster, as I've written. But I think that how do you come back and say, okay, here's your full-time permanent coach, and this is what the situation is going to be for the next couple of years with this coach and this retool. So I could totally see Doug Armstrong now going the veteran route. And how about this? You had Lindy Ruff fired, and I think there was something out there. Peter Laviolette, who was hired last year by the New York Rangers, has more seniority than 8 coaches in the NHL.
The NHL is unbelievable with coaching.
They turn them over faster than I think any other league out there.
I'm telling you, it's unreal. And then finally, this has been texted in earlier today, and I'm watching videos of Jake Gunsel right now. People are saying he reminds them a little bit of Jackson Burkett in the face. Do you see it at all?
I do see it.
How about that, Jackson? That's a great compliment. You're on the move today, though.
Yeah.
What?
I mean, I wouldn't say he has red hair like Ryan O'Reilly, according to Jackson, but I do think that there's a little resemblance there.
Who's this guy?
He's with the Penguins. He's going to be on the move today.
Is that right?
We'll replay this to open up Balloon Party.
This is Wes Unseld?
Wes Unseld. Yeah, currently no longer with us, but did coach the Washington
great player
Guardians.
And I think Orlovsky's cousin,
that is correct.
Uncle. Maybe uncle.
That's correct. There's a family member. JR, safe travels to New York. How many stops along the way? Or do you got a non-stopper?
No, we're going nonstop. So, we're boarding right now. Thanks for accommodating the time here. And then do me a favor. If while I'm in the air they trade Buchnevich or Parayko, don't play those sound bites.
No problem. Okay. We will drop those. We'll edit those away. There he is, Jeremy Rutherford, brought to you by Mark Hanna of Evergreen Wealth Strategies, and he will be with the Blues. Yeah, I got to tell you, I kind of tipped my cap because he was doing a little calling out last night on the effort thing. And then it's not like he's, hiding out and writing columns. He's heading right to him.
Yeah.
In New York, New Jersey, wherever the hell they're staying. Don't you think they're just staying in Manhattan and then just going to Long Island, then to New Jersey, then to the Rangers, and then you can be in one room for 5 days?
Probably stay there. Oh, then they got to play the Rangers, so they're just going to stay in New York.
Yeah. What do you think, Doug? You think Buchnevich is with the Blues when they play the Rangers on Saturday?
No.
I don't either.
No, I think they'll trade him. And probably
just the way Armstrong works.
Probably trade multiple players.
Scandella will be gone.
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of get a sense that there might be a sneaker play. I don't know. And I get it. I understand it. Last night, as far as results go, kind of got a break. The Predators did pick up a point. They lost in overtime, and the Kings lost. So with regard to the wild card, the Blues are actually now chasing Vegas. The Kings are now the third team in the Pacific, and Vegas is the top wild card, tied with Nashville. But because of games in hand, Vegas is the top wild card. Predators second, and then the Blues are 6 points back. But the Kraken are tied with the Blues at 67. The Flames are 2 back of the Blues with 65. The Wild's 3 back of the Blues. You just have so much competition. And then even if they got in. The one thing I'll say, though, is Jordan Binnington has been so damn good that it would be fun to see the Blues just try to flat out steal a series from what most likely would be the Canucks or one of the 3 teams from the Central in the first round. Playing the 1 versus 8, or maybe they would be 2 versus 7, and see if Binnington could do it, because hell, he almost did it against the eventual Cup champion Avalanche a couple of years before Nazem Kadri ran into him.
Right, and the Blackhawks are lurking. They're only 30 points behind the Blues.
Yeah, fun to watch the Blackhawks tied there with the Sharks at 37 points.
Gosh, what a season. Are they still selling out United Center there, I wonder?
See Connor Bedard?
Yeah, man.
That'll
You talk about a team that fell
right?
apart. Yeah, three cups there, and over a short period of time, and now they're the worst team in the league for a couple of years here. That hurts. But it's not that unusual to be a victim of your own success. Players want to get paid after you win a few cups.
Cap.
Yeah, you can only
Look at Bennington.
What's that?
What now?
What's Bennington got left? 2 years on $6 million a year.
We'll take a look at that tonight.
I don't have his
We'll come
contract
back with the information tomorrow.
Oh, you're just talking about guys got paid after winning. He won a cup and he's on a 6-year deal for $36 million. So
We saw that with the Rams lose a bunch of their players.
.com.
Mike Grutadoria.
.com.
A bunch of guys who were, not making the big money here, but were offered big money elsewhere because people saw them as, well, this guy helped them win a Super Bowl. He must be great. It happens. Happens in every sport.
They had a choice to make, I remember, after they lost to the Patriots. They had 3 big free agents, Leonard Little, Oz Hakeem, and London Fletcher. And they chose, do you remember, Doug?
Little?
That's correct. And I'm sure if they could have that one back, they would go to .com, London Fletcher.
Yeah.
He played forever.
He did.
And they were trying to replace him with a guy by the name of Jamie Duncan from that Tampa defense, and Jamie Duncan just didn't have it, God bless him. And things fell apart.
was that after the car accident?
The Leonard Little car accident? Oh, yeah. Leonard Little car accident happened, I think, the Super Bowl year, the championship year, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was going into that season, I
That
think.
seems right, yeah. But he was a heck of a player.
Little?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But you're right. .com just played forever. Look at him. He didn't look like an NFL player. Boy, he could get it done.
Let's see what we got going on here. It's the 8 o'clock hour. We got the Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day. And, Doug, we've got a title sponsor on the show, and that's Brown and Crouppen. You don't have any copy to tell the audience about them, do you?
I do. Brown and Crouppen is a local law firm, been around. You're wondering, how long have they been around? Well, I'll tell you, since 1979. They have been around a while. That would be, 45 years now. That's a long time for a law firm here in town, and they've grown to become one of the largest personal wealth firms in the entire Midwest. If you have a potential personal injury case, maybe hurt in a car accident, hurt at work, Brown and Crouppen is a local law firm right here to help serve you. Terry Crouppen, Andy Crouppen, Ed Herman are the principals. We've had them all in, gotten to know them. Wonderful guys, and they do a wonderful job representing you if you should need them. We'll give you a free evaluation. They work on a contingency basis. No upfront costs at all to you. If you don't get paid, they don't get paid, and they've won more than $1 billion now in compensation for their clients. If you think you may need Brown and Crouppen services, call them. I'll give the number now.
Do it.
314-222-2222. I'm going to say it again just because it's kind of fun. 314-222-2222. Or you just go to brownandcrouppen.com and make sure to let them know you heard about it here on TMA. Remember, the choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising. Past results are no guarantee of future results, and every case is different and must be judged on its own accord.
Another new sponsor here on TMA, Green Envy. Doug, we had them treat our lawns last year.
Yeah.
And they are back again. This is the time to start doing it. They were out at my house last week. They are locally owned and operated business in St. Louis for over a decade. Green Envy only uses products that are formulated for our soil here in the Midwest. The weather conditions of Missouri and Illinois, and turf types. No national, generic, cheap, ineffective products. With all this rain, spring weeds will explode when the temperatures warm up, as there is rain in the forecast tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday, and then warm temperatures right away. Sunday/Monday as another warm front comes through, which is glorious, but it can affect weeds. So here is the deal. Service calls, no charge for weed touch-up or reapplying weed control for Green Envy customers. That is huge because those are going to pop up and you get them to come out, no charge on those service calls. It's Green Envy. The number is 636-757-1600. That's 636-757-1600. They're open 12 hours a day, Monday through Friday, and then Saturday from 9 to 1 to take your calls and answer questions. It is Green Envy. They deploy a special crabgrass preventer, and that is a trade secret. They're not going to name it, but it's going to keep the weed from taking over your lawn at Green Envy. 636-757-1600. That is Green Envy. All right, we will close out the 8 o'clock hour and come back with our Schaefer Door Company 9 o'clock hour that will include the Munganess Daily Fantasy Sports Showdown and the Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day. Tim McKernan, Doug Vaughn, Kenny Iggy Strode, the Plowhawk.
Action Jackson with you. This program is called TMA, and it is brought to you by Brown and Crouppen.
Biggie's Restaurant and Bar has been a staple of the community for over 30 years and is serving your favorites like the steak sandwich, waffle fries, and so much more. It's not just the food that's rocking. With a full bar and patio, Biggie's is the perfect spot for lunch, dinner, and a little laughter. Biggie's original hours are back. Open 11 a.m. till midnight, Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday. And 11 a.m. till 1 a.m. on Friday and Saturday. Check out the full menu at biggiesrestaurant.com and stop in today.
Chow Chow on the Hill is your one-stop shop for all your pet supplies. As soon as you walk through their doors, you and your pet are considered family and treated with superior service and personalized attention. Jessica is the owner and is a certified pet nutritionist and is passionate about educating her clients on the product that will keep your pets happy and healthy. My favorite part about Chow Chow is its connection with All Paws Safe Haven, an organization that helps shelter animals find forever homes. To learn more about Chow Chow, visit CIAOCHOWSTL.com or stop by and tell them Plowsy sent you.
The choice of a lawyer is important and shouldn't be based on an ad.
If you're seriously hurt in an accident, you'll want all the money you deserve. That's called justice. But there wouldn't be lawyers if justice was easy. No, justice is not easy. It's fought for and it's won. At Brown and Crouppen, we fight for justice every day. If you want some, call 222-2222. Because at Brown and Crouppen, justice is our business.
College basketball's biggest tournament is coming, and it's time to start betting like a pro with the world's largest sports book right at your fingertips. Circa Sports Illinois. It's sports betting the way it should be. Experience big app bets with high betting limits, tight money line splits, and more. Fund and bet like a pro anywhere, anytime. It's never been easier. Download your new bookie before all the March action at circasports.com. If you or someone you know have a problem with gambling, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
Temperatures are finally warming up here in St. Louis, and while that means more fun in the sun, it could also spell disaster for your lawn. Rain equals spring weeds, and now is the best time to get ahead of it. Green Envy has been here in St. Louis for more than a decade, servicing and treating lawns just like they would their very own. Crabgrass can lay dormant for years until the conditions are right, and the massive amounts of moisture we've had is sure to wake up even the oldest crabgrass seeds. Green Envy only uses products that have been formulated for Missouri soil, weather conditions, and turf types, not national generic products that are insufficient and ineffective. Let the experts at Green Envy help you choose the best treatment program for your lawn this season. Phone lines are open 12 hours a day, Monday through Friday, and Saturday 9 to 1 to take your calls and answer questions. Call Green Envy today at 636-757-1600 or visit greenenvylawns.com and make your lawn the envy of the neighborhood.
Urban Dictionary defines thirsty as purposely, knowingly, and recklessly attempting to gain fame to boost self-esteem. So, are you thirsty? Well, TMA has you covered. Become a part of the TMA Listener of the Month Club. You nominate yourself for a monthly award. And if you win, you get recognition and stuff to help you satisfy that insatiable thirst. We're talking January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, etc. Go to TMASTL.com or the TMA app. Give us your name, a photo, and other pertinent information. Tell us why you deserve to be TMA Listener of the Month. And if you don't want to use your real name or photo, we don't really care. The TMA Listener of the Month. Get recognized just for being you, or fake you, or whatever. Quenched by Milagro Tequila. Welcome to the brighter side of tequila with Milagro in the morning after on KPNT HD2.
I get asked all the time by people, if I'm in an accident, what should I do? And while yes, you should call the police, exchange insurance information, and take pictures of the scene, all those things are important. But the most important thing you need to do is hire a personal injury lawyer. This is Doug Biggs from Longo Biggs Injury Law. And if you've been hurt by someone else's negligence, don't take on the insurance company yourself. Insurance companies have teams of people and a playbook designed to keep you running in circles so they can pay you as little money as possible for your accident claim. If you don't have a lawyer, they know you can't bring your claim to court, and they will never give you full value. We recently took an offer from an insurance company without a lawyer on the case from $12,000 to $200,000. You can't get that kind of result without an attorney on your case. Even if you don't hire us, you need to hire a personal injury attorney. Check us out online at longobigs.com.
In business since the 50s, Collier & Thompson are known for kitchen and bathroom remodels. But they do so much more. If it's an interior remodeling job, Collier & Thompson can probably help. Basements, wine rooms, man caves, bars, accent rooms, fireplace walls, office, you name it. No need to visit 5 to 10 showrooms when Collier & Thompson provides all your needs in their showroom on Manchester Road in Baldwin. Come home to quality with Collier & Thompson. Let them bring your dream remodel to reality. CollierandThompson.com.
Yeah, that plowboy's an interesting dude, but he loves animals, and he wants to help adoptable dogs find homes. With TMA listeners, catch Plowsy live on the TMA socials each week, highlighting a dog up for adoption. From Open Door Animal Sanctuary in House Springs, St. Charles County Pet Adoption Center, and All Paws Safe Haven. Plowsy's Pup of the Week, brought to you by Chow Chow on the Hill. Everything you need to keep your pet's tail wagging. Find out more at TMASTL.com. Live from the Michelob Ultra Studios, KPNT FM HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis. This is TMA All Day.
It's the Brown and Crouppen Morning After.
On KPNT HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis.
Well, I want to do this Munganess Daily Fan Sports Showdown, but Iggy's not here.
Well, I guess we're going to have to pull names out of a hat for his team. Maybe that's what we should do.
How pissed.
He would be furious.
I love that for the listeners.
I think that's what we should do. Lock him out for 10 minutes, pick a team for him because he wasn't here on time, and he's got to go with that.
And it is torture because he can hear his picks out in the hallway.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, he can hear him getting...
So shall we do it?
In the text inbox, they want to. They want it bad.
Need it.
They want it bad.
We can't do it though. We got to play fair. We got to play fair.
This big old fan is adamant that Jackson acknowledged that he was right. Did Jackson ever admit I'm right about the golf show? I want to hear you say you are right, Daddy. That's from big old fan art. Worst texture of the year 2023, Milagro Tequila.
The hell do I look like? Grown-ass man.
Oh, what golf show was he
If I
right
was
about?
wrong about the fact that they're not dropping every episode or are dropping every episode.
Full swing, Doug.
God bless.
That's an important topic, too.
Yeah. I'm not calling anyone daddy.
He's a man in love still, by the way. You shouldn't be surprised. You're not surprised by that.
I can tell that he is. He's very defensive.
yeah, he's defensive about big old fan. Big old fan is upset with everybody on the dais. I think he won't call in though.
Call in, big old fan.
And I offer up cash. I have our cash prizes for these Collier and Thompson phone lines 636-9004-TMA. It's TMA presented to you by Brown and Crouppen, Timothy Michael McCartney, Douglas Sullivan Vaughn back from his vacation in the Hamptons, the Plowhawk, Ken Strode no longer with the show. Jackson Burkett not happy with big old fan in the Horton Watkins studios. Jackson also not happy the balloon party is less than an hour away. Tell Doug what's coming up though.
What's coming up?
Oh, the Wide Berth Wednesday.
Nothing. You got nothing. All these games that were played last night, and you can't think of anything to talk about. Can you at least preview the weekend ahead?
Preview the weekend.
I got some hockey observations. I got some thoughts about Sonny Gray, some other more macro topics. So we got plenty.
Iggy, they really wanted me to lock you out this time, but I didn't do it.
What the hell? I mean, the breaks are longer now, and I didn't go to the bathroom. I went.
So it's our fault?
No, I'm just kidding. I was just trying to time it because I know they're longer now, so I got timed. If I see somebody I can chat, I chatted with the guy with the fountain.
Well, just don't leave. Don't leave the immediate area. Oh, can't do that. We were this close to locking the door and picking your team for you blindly out of the box.
I have to figure out the time. I thought, like, the last few days, I get up here and we still got 2 minutes left. Now today I get up here.
Now, if I did lock the door, would you be mad at me or would you be mad at Tommy, honestly?
I'd be mad at myself.
That's a great answer. Actually.
That was a great answer.
I think that
wasn't truthful.
Because
I agree with Doug also. I like Iggy's answer and I agree with Doug's assessment.
No, I wouldn't be mad at myself. Because I'm trying to get there on time. And I figured I had it timed out now. Because we have a couple new sponsors, so there's spots in the break. So it's like
Schaefer Door sponsor the 9 o'clock hour.
Yeah, so it's like 6.5 minutes. Okay, I got time to smoke and come on up.
That's the time to lock him out. Thanks to Schaefer Door, we'll lock the door here.
Yeah, they sponsored a lock.
The door lock works thanks to Schaefer Door.
Schaefer Doors.
We should put a screen. We should put a screen door in our too.
Let's see. Can we bet on what Ken's excuse for being late will be? My bet is that he was looking for someone who knows someone who went to high school with someone who owns a mop. That's from glove blogger Tom Trevin.
No, I was talking to one of the maintenance guys, and I mentioned it this morning to the old guy. And he's, F it. But I was talking about last year they waited to work on the fountain until like April.
And you were very unhappy about
that. And then they needed a part. Then the part didn't work. They had to go order another part. Then it flooded. So it was like June when it came on. Mm-hmm. And I said, look at the weather for the next 2 weeks, we're going to be almost into April. It's going to be 60s, 70s. How about if you work on it now, and then by the time the end of April comes around, it's working? He goes, I'll pass it on. I said, hopefully not to the older guy, because he doesn't like the fountain.
Well, it's probably very low priority in a big business with offices everywhere, problems popping up here and there. That fountain's probably very low priority.
I'm sure. I'm probably one of the only guys around here that likes that fountain.
Well, we like it. We're just not worried about it.
I don't worry about it. I was just making a suggestion. That way, if you find out in March that there's something wrong with it and you need a new pipe or a new part, you order it. And by the time April comes along, hey, it's 80 degrees. Get that fountain on.
Is there a chance you could take a class at Rankin Tech and learn to work on the fountain yourself?
I would pay a lot of money to look out at from the kitchen and see Iggy
with
hands
a pipe
and
wrench.
knees, just
I'd be just like
working
the old,
away, tightening up some loose screws.
I'd be just like the old guy. How's it coming, Iggy? F it.
Yeah.
You would turn very angry in that job.
So that's why I was a little late, because I figured I had 6.5 minutes. I was only down there for 4.
You put a little alarm on your phone?
No, I just know how long I got. It takes me if I dilly-dally, I can take 5 minutes smoking a cigarette.
You don't know how long because you're consistently late.
No, I was consistently late when we really didn't have any spots playing in the commercial break. We had
You're
a couple
consistently
of promos.
late every day.
No, when you were out of town, I wasn't late at all. I was in here with 2 minutes to spare.
Swope is going to pull some video.
I'm sorry, Tommy. I'm trying. I'm not
I don't
doing
think
this
he's
on-
listening. I got to be
Well,
honest
I'm not
with you.
doing this on purpose.
Do you worry the fact that he told you that he wants you back in on time?
No, because when I had my year review last week, I brought it up myself.
And he said, hello, Iggy.
What
went through your mind when you were told that the conversation?
I'm bringing up my DraftKings team since we're doing that next.
But we were in the middle of a conversation.
I can talk to you while I do that.
But you didn't. You stopped talking.
You gave me like 2 seconds of dead air. And what about? I was thinking about what he said, because there was a lot of things said in the meeting.
All
said,
positive.
I think he just said it was a pretty positive conversation, actually. Actually, when I walked in, he said this will be harmless, so I was happy about that.
Dentists say that a lot too.
Yeah.
And then they drill the hell out of your teeth.
Yeah. So I mean, I want to make management happy here, and my co-host and my partners here in crime happy, and so I try to do what I'm supposed to do. Every once in a while, it just doesn't work out.
Nice.
Every once in a while, every hour that we're on.
So.
You've had enough of this conversation.
I'll just take a few puffs now. I won't smoke the whole cigarette. I'll just take a few puffs and put it out.
You'll be late tomorrow.
Doug, you probably
you missed it.
I don't know if you and the family watched on Saturday night. Great win. Big Sam again for the doggies. 2-0.
I did not watch it.
Okay. And there was a chant that they wanted to get going. This is the audio. One side of the building was going to do I'm from the Lou, and then the other side was going to do I'm proud, but it didn't work out. And this is the audio. Take a listen.
I'm from the Lou and I'm proud. I'm from the Lou and I'm proud. I'm from the Lou and I'm proud. I'm from the Lou and I'm proud.
Like it, Doug?
It's horrendous.
Oh, Thank you.
Horrendous.
Thank you.
I didn't hear anybody chanting either. It was just him.
Well, that was the issue, is that it was supposed to start, I believe, at the second half, right in the second half, getting underway, and then it didn't, and then that was the only disappointment of the evening, because it was beautiful weather for March.
Yeah.
Blues had won earlier in the day. Doggies got themselves a nice win over New York, and that was the new chant. So maybe when they return to St. Louis, we'll hear that.
They actually did that chant during
No,
the
that
game?
was the audio that was sent out to instruct.
Oh.
I think they need to do it like church, where they're handing out like what hymnals are going to be sung that service.
Right.
Like everybody gets like a chant ledger.
Mm-hmm.
And then it kind of breaks down where the chants are going to be, what your side needs to say. I think that may need to be implemented.
Maybe they're not happy that they're from the Lou.
No one seemed to be proud.
What is this? Somebody said play KG and O-Town's remix audio postcard on his Instagram of this chant. I have not heard that.
Instagram videos are hard to play
Oh, is that
on
right?
my end here, just for the simple fact that,
All right.
it's not easy.
Well, I like the idea of having chants and songs. in
Yeah.
there, but they've got to be catchy and or clever or inspiring, something, right? Who are we telling that you're proud? Just other people.
The people from New York who are watching.
Usually when your city is like
take from
falling apart at your feet, it's typically when you go, I'm proud.
Mm-hmm.
You know, usually when it's
Thrilled of what we've
bustling,
become.
nobody openly
Mhm.
tells other people that they're proud. But usually when it's like teetering,
That's when you have to convince yourself that you're proud.
You don't need chants. The people are already up for the game. They're already just play the game. You don't need that stupid stuff added in there.
Well, the stupid stuff adds to the atmosphere. Like at Blues
Think
game.
that adds to the atmosphere?
They still play John Denver singing Country Roads. Everyone sings along to it.
Almost heaven.
People
Well,
kind of like
why?
it. They do it every game.
John Denver?
You didn't know this was a thing?
You really didn't know this? I can't tell if you're bluffing right
No,
now.
I didn't know.
Every game.
Why?
Because people like it.
Let's just
During
play
one of
John
the-
Denver during soccer.
During one of the timeouts, they play Country Roads with John Denver, and about 2/3 of the way through, he stops singing, and the crowd keeps singing along with it, without the music.
Yeah, kind of like the old people do when they're still playing a concert. They just let the crowd sing the song.
Well, I guess, but they do it, and
Shout out
they've
Vince
done
Neil.
they've done it for a couple of years.
He
now.
should just let somebody else sing.
There are 3 podiums in the supporter section that lead all the chants, Doug. That's from the Veiled Prophet.
Okay.
You like that 3 podiums?
No, I don't like podiums, no.
I have season ticks. The regular chants at the game are great. This one is not a good one. On another note, they do need chants. It's part of the game. Iggy, you moron. That's from Ray King.
Well, you don't need chants. You're just copying because people in other countries do it that actually have huge soccer followings. You just want to act like you're from England. Hey, they do it in Liverpool. Let's chant. We'll be like Arsenal. No, you're not. You're from St. Louis. Just watch the game.
Arsenal's from London, though, isn't it?
Correct.
Scott's wrinkled ballsack, but not his wife, says management asking Iggy to be back on time from breaks, and Iggy not feeling responsible to get back on time is confusing. Please be back on time, Iggy. We don't want you fired, especially knowing that you are receiving your Social Security benefits would be a time that Hubbard would not feel as bad giving you the old Yeller treatment.
Oh.
That's from Scott's wrinkled ballsack.
You know what the old Yeller treatment is, don't you?
Yeah, I've never seen the movie, but they put him out to pasture and shoot him, right?
They took him out in the backyard.
Wait, was it behind the shed?
Yeah, behind the shed.
God,
he had
didn't-
rabies.
behind the shed?
He had rabies.
Right by the house?
He got bitten by a rabid dog, and then he had rabies.
They didn't have veterinarians back then. You had to do it yourself.
Well, I don't think rabies can even be treated, right?
I don't know. Back then, probably not. This movie, I think, was set in the 50s or 40s.
Well, that dog was
50s,
from the
60s.
loo and he's proud, but
That really is a stupid
Behind
ending
the
to a
shed.
movie, to kill a dog.
Well, I mean, it's an emotional movie.
Yeah,
I remember watching
real
it.
life.
It shouldn't be. It's about a dog.
Uh-oh. Plowhawk, you're not going to like that.
Lassie ever gets shot?
No, I love Air Bud, but I think this movie, you got to introduce kids to death, and I think a pet death might be the first step in that. So maybe that's part of the movie, is like introducing kids to like life ends, sometimes tragically.
Did Hooch die?
Possibly. There's not a lot of movies where the dog does get shot.
Man, that's a tough. I couldn't imagine reading the script and going, "We got one here."
So you teach a young kid that, once you get older, we'll just take you out in the back of the shed and we're going to shoot you.
But
maybe I wasn't right on the. Yeah, maybe.
Look at the impact it had. 50, 60 years later, we're still talking about it. We're talking about the ending of a Disney movie.
Timeless classic.
Well, everybody knows what it means to get the old Yeller treatment now.
Do you think the movie, when it was made, the guy goes, "Man, I can't wait for this to be like a saying."
The old
You're about to
Yeller
get
treatment.
old Yeller.
I blame YouTube. If we weren't on YouTube, nobody knew if I was late.
Well, we talk
Well, we
about
talk-
it.
Yeah, but you wouldn't have to talk about it. You just do a live spot or something before I come in the studio, and then nobody would even know.
It's
I'm
already
late.
been done.
It did.
Yeah, we made good time on these.
Yeah.
Let the music breathe a little longer.
Just until you get your fat ass back in here.
If you are experiencing weight gain, then you got to go to Mentality. Mentality is a local healthcare facility specifically dedicated to helping men feel and perform at their very best. When you feel like you don't have the energy or drive to keep up with your kids after work, if you could just feel like you did 5 or 10 years ago so you could be present with your family and be the father and husband and friend you know you can be, work with Mentality. Doesn't matter what age you are. Low testosterone can be an issue with any guy. Even if you've tried testosterone before, not everyone understands the blood chemistry in men's bodies. Mentality can help. They're online at lowt,
USA.com. I've been out there, got tested. It was super easy, super friendly staff. A lot of TMA people have gone out there. Testosterone therapy helps men regain normal function and restores the ability to perform normally at all levels. Experience it with Mentality at Low T, USA.com. Coming up in about a half hour, we are going to have the Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day. Can somebody knock off Blueberry Pop Pop, or are we witnessing Mercury Morris and the 72 Dolphins going undefeated in the month of March? So far, Blueberry Pop Pop 3 for 3. Send your emails in the morning after at InsideSTL.com. Jackson and I are going to go down the hallway at 10 o'clock. We will be fine.
Yeah.
It's balloon party. Especially Jackson, let Doug know what we got, because this is going to be big.
Oh, WBW, Wide Berth Wednesday.
Yep. You're still trying to think of something?
I got hockey observations.
Can you give us a little teaser?
Yeah, but getting better at teasing.
Of my hockey observations or a question?
Yeah.
Jackson sometimes makes observations on the opposition's sweaters.
Islanders have a great sweater.
How about that?
World class.
Not going to get that anywhere else from 10 to 11.
Blue and orange works. The guy who scored the first goal for the Islanders looks like my dentist.
How about that?
Who was that?
I don't know his name, but he looks like a dentist.
How about that? 10 to 11, Doug, more where that came from.
Or like a bare knuckle boxer in Cinderella Man. That's what it kind of looked like.
I love that film.
You really have gotten into hardcore sports talk.
They do the close-up of him. I was like, who is that? Looks like he's in accounting.
How about that?
Well, out of uniform, the hockey players do look like regular people walking the street, because they're not enormous like basketball and football players. Just look like regular guys. And this one in particular looked like a dentist.
Yeah. That's what
Jackson's dentist, for that matter.
What I thought.
Plowboy, edging is very important in the swinging game. That's from the Swing Haven board member. Doug, do with that what you want.
And I'm fine with I like it, but
what is
it's
edging
specifically
again?
directed towards me? I brought up edging like a month or like an hour and a half ago.
I forgot what it is.
It's like where it's not blue ball, right? It's kind of like that.
You restrain yourself from reaching your happiest of places.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like taking like 2 Ambien and seeing who can like have the boner the longest.
Oh,
kids.
Like Cletus on their trip to Myrtle Beach.
There was some edging when Cletus went to Myrtle Beach, Doug.
No, they took 2 boner pills on their way to Baltimore. For some reason, they could be hard when they got to the airport. I don't know.
I don't understand. I'm sorry.
I think you're wrong. But you were at. I think when I talked about it, you were at the Daddy's Donuts thing.
Daddy Donuts.
Gosh, I don't understand
I don't know if it called if it was called Daddy's
like
Donuts.
He ate mushrooms.
Well, Plowsy was talking about boners, and I just...
Daddy's Donuts.
It took 2 pills.
I couldn't
before he
imagine
got to the
a school
Baltimore airport.
function called Daddy's Donuts.
Oh God! They're
PR.
gonna rename parties in the park.
Wasn't that what it was?
It was. I think it was donuts with Dad.
Okay. Daddy Donut Day.
So why would they want to take 2 pills
I have no
before
clue.
the
It made no
Baltimore
sense to me.
airport?
3 dudes going to Myrtle Beach.
So one of them called in to say that they just got hard?
I was doing my cooking show, and I see that Cletus had joined the cooking show. I said, what are you doing in the cooking show watching? You should be in Myrtle Beach. And they had a 5.5-hour delay in St. Louis, and they had a $400 liquor bill in St. Louis for 5.5 hours.
Gosh.
And then Florida, I brought him on the broadcast of the cooking show, and Andy Hanselman and Flower and Cletus were sitting in the Baltimore airport getting ready to board from Myrtle Beach, and Florida Flower said, we all just took 2 boner pills.
You think he was kidding, maybe?
I don't think so.
They were so confident in themselves, they thought they would get lucky immediately upon setting foot in the Myrtle Beach region proper.
Unless they were going to use them on each other. It was an anniversary trip. This is the 3-year anniversary of them meeting at PGA National and out on the golf course out of the sand trap, naked, chipping balls late at night.
It seems like you'd get arrested for doing that there.
Well, they could have if somebody had seen them. But they were happy to post the picture on the fan page.
Of them taking the pills?
No. How would you see it if you're not on the fan page?
3 years ago, they posted the picture of Florida Flower's butt taking a swing on the sand trap.
God almighty. Doug, I'd like to spend more time on it, but we have to get to the Munganess Daily Fantasy Sports Showdown. Big win for Iggy last week. He's got the box, and he actually cashed last week. It's profit season around here.
Yeah. It's about time.
Again, I'm
All the
torn. I put
research to be
2
done.
teams together, and I like them both, but usually the one that I pick for this, I lose and cash in the other one for my game. So,
well, it's a signature event. There still is a cut. Top 50 make it to the weekend. 69 players teeing it up at Bay Hill. Ladies and gentlemen, Ken Iggy Strode, who is leading 4-3 on the season, Jackson. Is that right? 4-3, 5-4? Has anybody seen that?
He's up 5-4 on Doug, 5-3-1 on KG and O10.
There you go. There's your standings. Ladies and gentlemen, Ken Strode.
Huh?
We had a tie?
No, sir.
5-3-1, you said.
Yeah, KG has 1 win for the whole group.
You said on KG you're up 5-3-1.
5-3 on. So Doug has 3, KG Nota has 1.
Oh, okay. All right, I have this one pulled up, Tim.
Okay.
Sam Burns, Cantlay, Fitzpatrick, Rose, Van Ruin, and Cam Young.
Okay.
Since I would play that one, I'll probably not cashier. I'm going to go to the other one.
Oh, wow. Meta.
It is. It's kind of like a reverse psychology. So now we'll go to the other team I'm going to play.
Okay. Start giving us the names. First name?
Doug, hard to believe that he's 6,600, and I'm guessing it's because he didn't get into the field until he finished second last week. I don't know how that works. I mean, he's in the top 50 in the World Golf Rankings, but somehow he wasn't in this field till he finished second.
Yeah.
6,600, Minwoo Lee.
Oh, I thought you were going EVR. Wow.
Minwoo Lee. He's
Doug,
the guy from Australia, right?
That's right, who Iggy thinks is attractive. Are you concerned that he had to play Monday and then make his way up to Orlando and how this could affect his form when the tournament gets underway tomorrow?
Not the slightest bit. No.
Okay. All right. Got bad information on your opinion on it. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Doug to make his first pick.
Well,
the Munganast box is making its way over. Munganast, St. Louis Acura, Munganast Broker, Alton Toyota, St. Louis Acura.com, AltonToyota.com. It's a signature event.
Okay, I have one. I have a name here. Sammy Valimaki.
Well, fun to see his performance in Mexico. Didn't carry over, though, as he shot a 75 at the Cognizant Classic in the Palm Beaches, but then bounced back with a 67. Not good enough to make the cut in Palm Beach Gardens, but he has been playing some good golf, so that's a sharp play.
All right.
He only costs $6,200 as he tries to become the first golfer from Finland to win a tour event. Sharp play by Doug. Iggy, next.
Thank you.
Now we're going to stay in the sevens for a little bit. I have 2 top-heavy players.
Okay. Who would you be picking now?
Guy who plays well here, and he's played well this year, and he's played well the last couple of years after
Shot
getting
maker?
a couple of victories. He's going to be in the fairway. His putting is suspect, but he seems to play well at Bay Hill. I'm going with Keegan Bradley.
Keegan Bradley, Doug.
Okay.
Keegs. You'll see him at the Grove playing with Michael Jordan, and minus a cut at the Genesis. About 3 weeks ago. He has been in form in 2024, so Iggy gets him for 7,400.
See where Tiger's playing in the Seminole member guest?
Yeah.
First time ever.
Oh, first time ever, really?
I just picked Webb Simpson.
The Weber Cattle.
Yeah.
He's won here, hasn't he?
He's come off the milk carton.
Am I off?
Yeah, I think he won here 5 or 6 years ago.
Okay.
Is that why you picked him, Doug?
No. I picked him because that was a name that showed up when I put my hand in.
This is going to be intriguing. I kind of wonder about it. It's a game theory pick on your part because he really hasn't been in form. Are you concerned about that?
No. I don't really care.
Doug, a guy who has been in form, started the year with back-to-back top 5s. He's come back to earth a little bit, but he's taken a couple of weeks off here and there and get some rest. Benny On.
And, it's not like he had a bad weekend in Palm Beach Gardens, but 271s hurt him because they were bookended by a 67 and a 65 for a 10 under. Okay. He has been playing well, so that's going to be fun to see how he performs.
Tommy Fleetwood.
Tommy Fleet. When will that first win come stateside? Could it be this weekend in Central Florida?
I don't know when it'll come.
It's 8,800 for the record.
8,800?
Yep.
That's pretty high going.
He's never won a tournament on the PGA
15,000.
Okay.
He's had his chances.
Such a good player. Never won on the PGA Tour. It's kind of hard to believe. Maybe he comes this week, Doug.
Very well could, yeah.
I wouldn't think so. Another guy just hits fairways, Doug. And,
that's all he does.
Over par is going to make the cut this week. So
is that right?
Yeah, this is the first time this has been a signature event, isn't it?
I don't know.
Just
tell us the name.
Well, I'm trying to help you out to make your next pick. It's less players, but
there's no way to help me out. I pulled blindly out of a box.
It's usually always over par makes the cut, and very rarely is it double digits under par to win this thing. But with a shorter field, may take even par or so. But here's a man that just hits fairways. That's all I need. Chris Kirk.
Okay.
Chris Kirk.
God, that was a long-winded answer.
Well, I'm helping out our listeners, too. A lot of people take my
A
picks.
lot of people are just on the edge of their seats wondering who you're going to pick. Probably most in St. Louis.
Another 7,000s player there with Chris Kirk, so Iggy's going top heavy down the stretch. Doug, this is a big pick for you.
Cam Davis.
Cam Davis is along for the ride, and, well, it's fun to watch you manage your budget here because Cam Davis is a value play at 6,700. So that gives you 2 plays in the 6,000s. Are you concerned about that? Because you had a roster last week that
I'm not concerned about any of this.
$10,000, $11,000 on the table.
No. Aren't I supposed to get like 2 good picks at the end?
Yeah.
Okay.
I gave you that option 2 weeks ago, and you didn't do it. You had $11,000 left on the table.
That was my fault.
This is kind of an iffy pick for me, Doug. I mean, he's starting to come around a little bit, but he's still not the player that we know he can be.
You going Sungjae?
No, I'm going Colin Morikawa.
Colin Morikawa.
Doug, you remember last year? He missed the cut here.
I didn't remember that, no.
So Doug has enough money to have both Rory and Scotty Scheffler.
Oh, my
Okay,
God.
so I'll pick until I get somebody with some juice. Okay. Let's see.
He got 3 there, so it's going to take one of them.
Yeah, Jordan Spieth, where is he?
Jordan Spieth was in the mix last year, and, well, here he is. And he's got some impressive finishes so far this year. A 3 at the Century and a T6 at the Waste Management. Jordan Spieth, Doug, he will maybe make a run for you. I like where your roster is.
All right.
My last pick, I don't play him very often.
No.
Because he's too high priced every week, and
too much.
But he probably will win this week. I mean,
Very well could.
I'm going Scotty Scheffler.
Okay, Scotty Scheffler. Very well.
He's got to get that flat stick going, Doug. What do you see in his putting?
He's lost his confidence, Tim. He stands up to a putt, expects to miss it.
He needs to go to a mallet.
I think you're right. If it's about 5 feet or in, you might be right.
I think he needs to go to a mallet putter.
Mallet putter. Okay. I didn't get any high price guys.
I thought you were taking McIlroy and Scheffler.
No, I'm going to pick. I'll take guys who I pick. Give me another. I got a bunch of low guys again.
Yeah, you got just take whatever you want there.
Well, you said I could pick.
Well, why are you picking? Just take Scheffler.
No.
Or Rory.
Let's see. Okay, I got Rory McIlroy.
Wow, unbelievable.
You could have taken him without not picking 15 names out of there.
Unbelievable.
Well, I want to do it kind of legit.
And for those wondering what the other team I could have played was?
Yeah, and I know people.
Nobody is wondering. Not a soul is wondering. Don't read off the names. Don't do it. Don't read them off.
I'm going to do it.
No one wants to know. Don't do it.
Sam Burns.
Don't do this.
Cantlay. Fitzpatrick.
Stop it.
Rose.
No one cares.
Van Ruin.
Quit it.
And Cam Young.
Oh, gosh.
That's a team I didn't play.
Okay, so you're hedging your bets now to say, see, I really am a genius. This other team would have won. Now you double the odds that you have a team that does well.
Well, people want to know what my other team.
No one wants to know.
I get DMs all the time. Iggy,
You don't.
No one plays your stupid lineup that loses to a guy drawn from a box 40% of the time. You suck!
Some beer cats. He won the Milagro Tequila Listener of the Month, January 2023.
It's really odd because I've gotten DMs from him in the past saying, Iggy, I played your team this week. It's looking good.
Wow.
What a hypocrite.
You're really taking this so seriously.
DM me and
you
ask
think
me
that
what the cut's going to be.
People really care who you pick.
Well, what can I tell you? I get a couple DMs that people want to know who I picked.
Uh-huh.
People actually text in the show and say, Jackson, can you put the teams up on Instagram so we can follow them?
Okay.
So they must be interested.
I don't know.
Munganess Daily Fantasy Sports Show.
You're not interested because you never win.
Yes, I do win. It's 5-4 so far this year.
How many cashes you got out of that?
Well, enough. You've lost 4 times to a guy blindly picking while you do research on this stuff.
Well, you get lucky out of the box.
Well, no, that's just kind of the nature of it.
You got a new rule now that Jamie put in that you can pick whoever you want at the top of the list.
Doug, a lot of takes flying back and forth here, but there were takes yesterday on Boston Sports Talk Radio. There's talk of the Patriots drafting Marvin Harrison Jr. with that 3rd overall pick. They're not happy about it on Boston Sports Talk Radio.
Why wouldn't they want him?
I am getting tired of everybody bending over backwards to get Marvin Harrison. It doesn't matter if you can't block and you don't have a quarterback. It's useless. Everybody's just caught up in the freaking toy. Like the highlight reel. It drives me bananas. I like the player too, but you have to be somewhat practical about it when you're building a team. Take Harrison. Yeah, I'd take Harrison at number 3. I want Harrison. He's a stud. He's only a stud if you get the quarterback and you can block. God, it's ass backwards. You can't build a team around a wide receiver. It's so annoying. Every freaking person that calls. Yeah, I want Harrison. Great, go get a wide receiver and let's get the crap kicked out of him. What good's that going to do? I mean, look at Garrett Wilson, right? He's a good player. I like Garrett Wilson. But he's useless in New York.
I don't even have to go back 30 years. Yeah.
Right, he's useless. I like him. He's good. On the right team, he would be good. In New York with no quarterback and no line, he sucks.
Who wants Harrison? Let's hear from you at 617-779.
It's driving me crazy.
0985. First the headlines.
Could not imagine.
I had to put on the mittens. I didn't want to get scolded. I didn't want to be injured by those takes.
What drives me crazy is these people that keep yelling like that's the thing to do now.
Oh, that's how you get paid, baby.
I have to agree with his overall premise.
No quarterback? No offensive line?
Yeah. Especially offensive line. You give any of these quarterbacks some time to throw and they'll do damage.
What do you got against Matt Jones?
What do I have against Matt Jones?
Mac.
I don't have really anything against him, but I agree that it's more important to build a line and the quarterback than a wide receiver.
That was Tony Maserati, 98.5, the sports.
The name kind of fits the voice.
Yeah.
Comes up from Providence, dealing with the Irish.
Only good GMs would draft offensive linemen. Too many people just take to please the fans. Nobody cares about Johnny Johnson.
Him again.
Johnny Johnson.
Best offensive tackle in football. We need one, but no, it's not a pretty pick. Let's go with the Marvin Harrison, even though it's not going to help us this year, but everybody will love that.
Rams used to take a tackle all the time.
Greg Robinson.
Alex Barron.
Orlando Pace.
Jason Smith.
Think about it.
Mm-hmm. Well, you can do that if you have your quarterback.
And they had Kyle Bowler, so they were...
Well, the Rams... The Rams had Bolger for a while, and they had Warner, and they had Sam Bradford, so they thought they had their quarterback.
Is Caleb Williams going one?
Yeah.
I saw some former NFL scout said he's not the real deal. He won't get it.
Merrill Hodge, and he's been right on a lot of things, so...
Who's got the number one pick?
Chicago.
Chicago.
Do they really give up on Justin Fields?
Well, that's like the whole national sports talk thing right now. Is where's Justin Fields going to go? What are they going to do? Look at this, look at that.
Well, if you can get somebody you think is a lot better, I think you probably do it and then deal the other quarterback.
Well, maybe they trade with New England. New England will probably give them some first-round picks.
If New England thinks Fields is the guy.
Well, they'll let people know he's their number one guy. Oh, we're going with Fields. We're going to keep Fields. So let them.
Well, if they make the trade, they would do that.
Or they say, we're not sure. We love Caleb Williams. And you make that point, then somebody who wants Caleb Williams are going to move up to get him.
Jaden Daniels is the guy anyways. He's always the guy. He's going to be the guy. He'll be the best of the bunch.
I don't know.
Love me some Jaden Daniels.
Fantastic college player. But can he pull that off in the NFL?
I think Oakland will take him. That's who I like. I like Jaden Daniels. Not a hot take, just a take.
Yeah. It was a pretty good take.
Thank you. Man, I really needed that.
You're very welcome.
Transform your story at Illinois Recovery Center. Illinois Recovery Center, the team believes in the strength of every individual's journey to recovery. Whether you're taking the first step or continuing your path, the IRC's dedicated team is here to support you. Why choose Illinois Recovery Center? Well, it has a holistic healing approach, expert care and guidance, safe and welcoming environment, tailored programs for lasting recovery in a top-notch facility and accommodation. Discover the path to lasting recovery and renewal at Illinois Recovery Center, where compassionate support meets personalized care for your unique journey. Whether you've made the life-saving choice to seek help on your own or
You want to be prepared for the other end of an addiction intervention with a loved one? The chance to learn about addiction recovery is available to you at the Illinois Recovery Center in Swansea. If you or someone you know wants more information about the Illinois Recovery Center, please call 888-472-9559 or visit IllinoisRecoveryCenter.com. Coming up in about 10, 11 minutes, we will have the Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day, the morning after, at InsideSTL.com. And then Jackson and I will head down the hallway, and we will be fine. We appreciate everyone's concern, but we will do it, and we will do our best with it. Patriots fans are heated about Apple TV series The Dynasty because it glosses over their Super Bowl wins. That's from the Lake St. Louis Island boy. Doug, I don't understand.
No, I haven't seen the...
It glosses over their Super Bowl wins? Like, if it's called The Dynasty, what else would they be talking about?
Yeah, it'd be hard to miss that,
Right.
wouldn't it?
I don't understand. I need a follow-up on that Lake St. Louis Island boy. Iggy is such a hater. Yeah, Ken, I'm sure all of them would take your career over their own. That's from Harrison. I don't know what we're talking about there, but there's Harrison's brother, Master.
I'm sure about the guy who was screaming about Marvin Harrison. Well, we played a clip. We're supposed to critique it, so that's what I did. Sorry.
Harrison's brother Master is always there. After a surge in backlash, Wendy's is giving customers a slam dunk deal. The fast food chain is dishing out deals for Borch Badness, and basketball fans and burger lovers alike can score a $1 Dave's single or $2 Dave's double anytime from now through April 10th. By checking the offers tab in the Wendy's app. The announcement comes days after Wendy's announced they would be testing a, quote, dynamic pricing model where the cost of menu items would fluctuate based on demand. Wendy's CEO Kirk Tanner announced the new system on a call with investors, noting that they will invest $20 million in high-tech menu boards that will be able to update prices in real time. That sparked stories that said Wendy's could raise prices during lunch, much how surge pricing increases the cost of an Uber during busy times. But Wendy's later clarified the announcement, insisting that Uber-style surge pricing is not part of the plan. In a follow-up statement on Tuesday, the company said, quote, any features we may test in the future would be designed to benefit our customers and restaurant crew members. Digital menu boards could allow us to change the menu offerings at different times of the day and offer discounts and value offers to our customers more easily, particularly in the slower times of the day. To clarify, Wendy's will not implement surge pricing, which is the practice of raising prices when demand is highest. We did not use that phrase, nor do we plan to implement that practice, a Wendy's spokesperson told the New York Post. She added, there are, quote, no plans to do that and would not raise prices when our customers are visiting us most. We will test a number of features that we think will provide an enhanced customer and crew experience. So, Doug, now they're giving out $1 burgers and $2 double.
Well, what they're saying makes perfect sense to me. In fact, they're trying to lower prices, it sounds like, lower prices at down times to try to get more people into their stores.
Yeah, I agree with you. And people just go, first of all, the first thing they think about is they're trying to gouge the customer. Yeah. Not every business tries to gouge a customer.
Fast food does, though.
Yeah, but Burger King all the time has their 2 Whoppers for $5 deals. I don't see, they're selling 2 Whoppers for $9. They don't raise the prices.
Fast food has consistently outpriced themselves in the market the last 10 years. And I would say it's happened even more so the last 2 years. I mean, you can go to a Mexican restaurant and get yourself a quesadilla meal, get yourself a drink, have huge size refried beans. You probably pay about $15, $18 for that meal. I mean, you go to Chipotle and you're getting half of that for more money. Fast food has just priced themselves out. I think this is a dumb idea and it will not work.
The Wendy's idea? To cut 100%. Prices on slow times?
Dude, the reason why they're slow is people are at work. You think people are risking their job just to save $2 on a McDouble? Like the system just will not work.
They're not going after those people. They're going after the people driving by the side of the road saying, this is not the peak lunchtime. I wonder if I could save a couple bucks on a burger right now.
And I think you'll get trash food then at that point too. It's just sitting over, left over. I've worked in fast food. I just don't see the appeal anymore to fast food, and I think they priced themselves out. McDonald's got rid of the $1 menu because they realized everybody loved it.
Well, nothing costs $1.
Meal is $9 or $10 in McDonald's, and that's McDonald's. Yeah. I mean, like, it's insane.
Chick-fil-A more than that.
Yeah, it's
I had McDonald's for the first time last week for the first time in like 5 years. I got 2 triple cheeseburgers.
Gosh.
Well, they were on sale.
2 triple
I wanted
cheeseburgers?
I wanted 2 double cheeseburgers, and they were like $4.80 a piece. They had a sale on 2 triple cheeseburgers for $5. Why wouldn't I get the 2 triples?
Do you
More
eat them
beef.
both right there?
No, I didn't eat them both. I went home, but I ate one and had another one, but later. But I can get 2 triples for cheaper than I can buy 2 doubles. Why wouldn't I do that?
I guess you would.
To me,
uninjured jaws.
They always have specials.
Too much like a triple, it messes up the ratio of ingredients. Like it's like too much beef, which if I had a nickel for every time. But
You're right, Jackson. It was too much beef for me.
yeah, it like messes up the like Shake Shack. You don't want to get too much because they just I don't know.
And this is the beer
That's my
cat.
take. You
This
go
is
up
the
on
beer
elements,
cats
Doug?
talking about minimum wage raising, the prices raising. That only happens in America. Go look at what other people make in Denmark and all these other countries. With the McDonald's, they get paid $15, $18 an hour, and the prices are a little cheaper, I do believe, than America. So please stop with the minimum wage. Just look at the profit share of McDonald's and Wendy's and Subway and tell me they can't afford a couple dollar bump in raise in minimum wage. It's ridiculous. The food product has been terrible for a while, and it's all about profits. And that's just what Wendy is doing. It's trying to get buzz on PR, and they're going to rarely lower their prices, and they're going to get a surge in people who are interested to see the new menu.
But it's like almost every other business in the world.
I didn't say it was
you try
exclusive
to maximize profits, raise prices when you can. You think the market will bear it?
The apps are the only way for fast food. That's the best thing that McDonald's has done is the app. Because the more you order, the more points you get, the more free stuff you get. That's one incentive I can see, understanding that was a good idea.
The Wendy's situation is another reminder that corporations have to be extremely careful about how they market themselves these days, because if the mob latches on to something it doesn't like, it can do irreparable damage to your product.
100%. Could not agree more, Doug.
Whether it's true or not. Now I see Doritos had a transgender spokesmodel that they've had to get rid of now. If the mob doesn't like what you're doing, your whole business is at risk.
Yeah.
And Bud Light is the shining example of that.
But the minimum wage argument to prices increasing is a joke. It's
got something to do with it, probably. If labor costs increase, you're going to probably raise the price of your product.
Well, you pocket a little less in bonuses. You pocket a little less in profit. You go from maybe $20 billion a year to $18 billion a year. But guess what? You have a better product. You got more loyal workers. It's a good it's a give and take. You can't give people crap money and crap food and raise prices and expect to, not see any complaints. I think there
certainly is corporate greed is definitely a thing.
100%.
It's definitely a problem.
There you go, Tim. Fast food talk, baby.
There it is. Doug, also, one of the best emails in the history of this program, and the Design, Air, Heating, and Cooling email of the day, was, I believe it was Misty Plops who wrote about the Vianney stepfather calendar.
Mm-hmm.
And it's great to hear that a school has actually brought that to life, but using teachers at the high school. A school in Australia has come under fire after a calendar filled with photos from a staff photo shoot was leaked to the public.
Bad idea.
The photos show the suburban school teachers posed in a range of compromising positions, with one teacher dressed as a nun and another in a sparkling gold mankini.
No.
The photographs were displayed in the staff room.
Oh, gosh.
A whistleblower. I like that, a whistleblower. A whistleblower is understood to have raised concerns about the calendar after a staff complaint in December resulted in the denial of its existence, even though it was hanging in the staff room. The school is located inside the electric of the state's education minister, Diane Farmer. Kind of a fun fact right there in the story. One photo shows the gold mankini-clad teacher bent over on all fours while the teacher dressed in a nun's habit places their foot on his back.
Bad idea. Bad.
Another shows a teacher pouring a carton of milk onto another teacher.
Hot.
I thought this was going to be a really funny idea.
The leaked photographs have drawn mixed reactions from the public, with some suggesting they crossed the line, while others say they shouldn't be taken too seriously. Former Queensland principal Tracy Tully said it was a, quote, total disregard to respect to the school, the parents, the community, the students, and other teachers.
This is not a joke. The school is a school of excellence. It's a gateway school. It's teaching year 11 biomedical engineering. It has 4 academies. They've worked really hard to get where they are. They've got an international school. I don't want to be a prude. They're probably having a bit of fun, said Matt Canavan. Doug, he's a senator in Queensland. You vote for Matt Canavan?
I don't want to be a prude. That means you loved.
I did send in a mail-in ballot.
9 reporter Heidi Murphy said, quote, the worst part was the photos being leaked out of the staff room and put on the national stage. I would say. Take a look at the guy in the mankini. Look at him. Look at that. And it's hot. He's got his...
What are you thinking?
Today, mate.
Gut. Look at that. He gets in a calendar in the staff room. Look at that.
You know, teachers are normal people.
Jesus.
They like to have a good time.
Face.
They like to have fun and party and laugh just like everybody else. But they have to realize that they're just in a profession where you just can't go public with it.
You don't have to realize anything. It wasn't gone public. It was for them. Somebody leaked it from the break room.
And so it goes public.
Well, that's not their fault.
Well,
teachers can never have fun.
They
They're
just had a
so
little fun.
underpaid. They're so undervalued. They're under a microscope. And every time they want to try to have fun, it's over.
What about all those
Their
people?
career is over.
All those celebrities got their phones hacked. And they have pictures all over the place. Oh, they shouldn't have been posing naked. Well, it was in the privacy of their own home and on their phone. It was hacked. They're blaming the celebrities for taking a naked picture of themselves?
Yeah, you shouldn't blame the celebrities for that.
Well, they were blamed.
I'm just saying.
It's like they're blaming the teachers for doing something fun for their break room.
But when you work with children, you have to take an extra step of precaution in what you present. You just do.
They presented nothing.
Well, they presented a calendar of a guy in a mankini.
In the break room. They didn't expect somebody to see that
can't do it
and
anywhere.
expose it.
You just can't.
Well, you
just
can't.
can't.
If you just stop
You can if you want to get
making
fired.
other people's business your business. Stay out of it.
There are certain ways you must behave if you have a certain type of job. And if
HT2 radio.
Yeah, and if you're in the pretty much anything goes here. But if you're in the teaching profession, that's one of the professions where you just don't get to act like a fraternity guy or a sorority girl at pretty much any time without paying a price for it.
They're having fun.
I know what they're doing. I'm saying it's inappropriate for that profession.
What if they go out to a bar in Queensland and they're having a cocktail and leans over and gives them a smooch? Oh, look at this. These 2 teachers making out and drinking.
But that's not on school
Not a
grounds.
problem.
You know, this calendar is in the school.
Well, it's in a place where students wouldn't see it if somebody didn't take a picture of it in the break room and put it out there.
Look, I don't think anyone should get fired for it, but you can't allow that either. That's where I'm at.
No.
Yeah. I just think it's nobody's business.
Nice.
Well,
there's too many busybodies in this world now. They try to make
busybodies. Well, try to behave yourself. How about that?
They're
Just
having
simply
fun.
behave yourself.
It's not like you had a dildo stuck up his ass.
Oh, you don't know that.
Hey, look at this one.
that gray
This is
area.
March. This is
they
pegging
poured out.
month.
Oh, is it really?
No.
Well, then that's a little bit different. Just having a little fun pouring some milk on somebody. Think that's lewd?
No, but again, my point is there are just certain jobs, and teaching is one of them, where you just can't always have the fun that you want to have without paying a price for it.
I asked Brianna Coppage all about that.
Correct.
In full circle.
But that's different.
All of this could have been avoided if these teachers just decided to open a coffee shop in a market saturated with coffee shops. That's from Al in Dadeville. Maybe we should start sleeping with our guests like Gabe. That's from Al in Dadeville. Your lack of self-awareness and lacklogical thinking is second to none. That's from the Warson Woods wacko. Don't make anyone else's business your business. Just post it where everyone you work with can see it. That's from Vince Vaughn's Entrails.
Well, the whole point was there were teachers in the calendar, so it was in the teacher's break room. You didn't think there'd be some teacher narcs in there.
Oh, there's always teacher narcs.
Again, mind your own business. You're probably pissed off because you weren't in the calendar.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Probably
You
not.
weren't asked to be in it, so you're going to out them.
Probably not.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for our Design Air Heating and Cooling Email of the Day. Can Blueberry Pop Pop make it 4 for 4? Find out. It's time for the Design Air Heating and Cooling Email of the Day. The great Seth Goldcamp and Design Air Heating and Cooling online at designairservice.com, official HVAC provider of TMA and the Tim McCurdy Show podcast. Admittedly, my emails have been lackluster lately. I've been out of sorts. My boyfriend has been out of town, so I've only been having sex with myself. I'm going to do something that has never been done before. I'm going to nominate someone who went to a different high school for the Golden Griffin Award for Excellence. And after today's show, that nominated man is Tim McKernan.
But this email is about the 1981 Vianney Father-Son dance. And I'm breaking a confidence. So if you don't mind, let's just keep this betweenst us. Is that how you say it, betweenst us?
I would never say betweenst. How about between us?
The sign on my buddy Vince's front door said, "What in Vince's lower level Rathskeller stays in Vince's lower level Rathskeller." All the guys that struck out at the dance rented the hottest men behind bars movie ever. Cool Hand Luke. Well, on that scene with the gal all soapy washing her car came on, all my buddies just started abusing themselves.
Oh, no.
So I'm breaking the rules by telling you all. But when you see 17 of your buddies spraying another buddy's naughty pine walls, you just got to tell somebody. The only guy that didn't partake was my buddy Butchie. Butchie actually looked bored. Then all of a sudden he had a huge erection and embarrassingly walked into the laundry room. Then I heard Vince's dad say, "What you got there, Butchie?" That's one hell of a chubby. Butchie was like, "I don't understand what's happening to me." To me body. Where's I thought it was kind of assumed Butchie was from South County. Sounds like he's Cockney, doesn't it?
It did there, yeah. Sure it did.
Vince's dad stopped him in his verbal tracks. I do. It's that shirtless, sweaty George Kennedy. And I've got one too. Now, let's get it on. All of a sudden, Vince's dad was giving him the Kentucky log splitter going in drier than a dog bone sitting in the sun. Doug, that's from Marvin Gaye, and then the last name is Tendencies.
Marvin Gaye Tendencies. He's new.
Weird last name.
And young, I need a TMA calendar. And by TMA calendar, I mean some combination of Doug and Plow, Tim, Jackson, and one with the Strode man recreating that teacher's calendar. Also, Pockets is 100% going to Google Australian calendar leaks once he gets home. Thanks. It's from number one Asian intern Brian Henshin. Noted busybody. Hit me up if you want one of those calendars. As I typed this email, Ken yelled, "It's not like he had a dildo up his ass. They just poured a little milk on him." Think that's lewd? Yeah, little lewd. Doug, Brian Henshin.
Brian Henshin, a little lewd.
My goodness. Hey guys, can't wait for the chance to defend my title at the J. Randolph Jr. Fan Page Club Championship in April, but this email isn't about that. What I am really excited for is the Buck Swope mini investigation, and what I hope is the next email to follow, because ours is a type of program where the on-air talent virtue signal their way through the shows day after day by claiming, quote, they will do anything as long as Hubbard is better off. That is, of course, with the obvious exception of being on time from breaks after 2 hard-fought days of trying. Block him, Doug! Block him out in the hallway! That's some Dogtown Tie.
Dogtown Tie.
And young, YouTube is not what exposed the Strode man for coming in late from every break. No, you do that on your own self, big man. You clomp in, slam the door, and not crap around, making a whole scene about your return. And then, and this is the craziest thing, this odd whistling noise starts up again. It starts out sounding normally like the freshest of nostril whistles, but then the tenor drops and there's sort of a gravelly effect right before you start on your first hijacking of the hour. It's so fake. Thanks, and maybe stay tuned. That's from number one Asian intern Brian Henshin. I'm typing this just as Ken tied some rambling about boner pills with, quote, the daddy's donuts thing, unquote. What in the hell am I listening to, Doug? Brian Henshin.
Brian Henshin, point 2.
Oh, my goodness. It's funny hearing Doug explain the villages and their loofah color system. We're all familiar with the basics. Pink means lesbian seeking group sex. Yellow means you're a golden shower enthusiast. Pretty pedestrian stuff. My model train group has a similar color system. We attach brown loofahs to the train cars to send different messages about who we want to bang. A brown loofah on the engine means I want to top you. A brown loofah on the caboose means I want to be a power bottom. Again, very basic stuff. Now, here's where it gets interesting. A crusty orange loofah means you want to watch an elderly renter pleasure himself as he watches pirated teacher porn. But the kicker is that halfway through, he'll say something totally untrue, like, I didn't pirate this clip, it just popped up. If you display a jaundiced loofah, it means you'd like to be cucked by a heavy breather who won't stop bragging about collecting $34 per month in Social Security earnings. And if you put a red flannel loofah and a hideous bright yellow hat on your caboose while you whine about coffee, that means you should be forced to retire immediately. If he shows up late after another break, gates worth him. That's from the JV golf coach.
JV golf coach.
Oh, this could be breaking news. The The title of the email is Retirement Speech.
Oh, no.
Look, if there's two things that everyone knows about me, it's A, I have had a 30-plus year Hall of Fame radio career, and 2, I always take the week after Thanksgiving and the weekend between Christmas and New Year's off for vacation. But now that I'm collecting Social Security and I'm well on my way to living my dream of retiring with $8,000 to my name, I think it's time I step aside. Thank you, Mark Hanna, for your obviously pro bono financial advice and helping me collect Social Security. Thank you to the fine people at Munganast for never batting an eye when they gave me a car to use for a week after my 1975 Buick Skylark disintegrated on 270. And then I decided to just keep the loaner indefinitely as a mobile version of one of those airport smoking vestibules from the 1980s. Thank you to James Carlton for somehow, by the grace of God, finding an insurance policy for my 65-square-foot solitary confinement spank shack. Thanks to Design Air for making sure the ventilation in my bathroom could handle the ciggy smoke I pour into it when it was too cold to smoke outside. Thank you to Tim for never allowing management to drop the hammer on me, even after I completely and disrespectfully ignored their numerous emails demanding I get back to the show on time so I could pour carcinogens down my esophagus and stay in my seat like a good little boy while Tim does the live reads that make this show possible. And lastly, thank you to Lauren's husband, Tim, for finding the intestinal fortitude not to absolutely beat the S out of me after years of inappropriately and awkwardly creeping on his wife in the workplace. That's from I Can't Stress About Pop Pop because I'm a timid soul, Blueberry Pop Pop. I thought he was retiring when I saw the title.
Blueberry Pop Pop.
You either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. Gus whispered that phrase to me last night, right after he finished on my orthopedic Velcro Skechers.
Oh.
You see our nighttime routine after catching a rerun of Scrubs on TBS as we pop on TMA and listen to all 3 segments during Gus's climax. Last night, we were listening to Iggy pitch a somber, porn-adjacent interview guest on the upside of spending an unknown amount of dollars on the very niche market, disrupting idea of, wait for it, another oversaturated coffee shop in a dying city. Now, how or why someone hasn't thought of that before is mind-numbing. But anyway, after he got shot down there, and then he heard the gasp from the guest after he admitted to actively seeking out paywalled content leaks, Gus made a mess all over my lounging shoes and then uttered that phrase. Tell you what, the whole interview was ick, but I think the best part was when Iggy kind of spoke over Tim at the very end when Tim was trying to land the plane and Iggy shouted, "Let us know if you need anything, kiddo. We're always here for you."
God, which is how you end it.
What the hell did that mean? What in the world can you do for this gal besides ask Tim if you can introduce her to Randall at Kraft Steakhouse, or ask Tim if he can ask a sponsor for a renewal on your free car, or ask Tim if he could ask the accountant if he'll ever do your taxes again, or ask Tim if he can send Design Air out to fix an AC unit that's supposed to be maintained by the complex or FEMA or whoever. Could have died a hero when you successfully didn't record any interviews from the AVNs the time you didn't know how batteries and Tascams worked. Could have died a hero after asking a porn star how young she was when she started doing adult acting, or when you booked the full bush Chris and Tilly.
Oh, we're crestfallen now.
Or ASMR Taylor with a following smaller than Larry Nickel and Stingray's Facebook videos combined. We're on the show to talk about nothing interesting at all. But no, you decided to live long enough to be the villain of porn interviews and unsolicited texts that get the biggest get you've ever gotten to type a manifesto and exit TMA stage left. Shame.
Oh.
Thanks. That's Tilly Grundlehort. Gus is still sleeping. He's exhausted from last night. P.S. Can I send a quick unsolicited birthday shout out to my dear friend Joan Wanderseed? She's married with kids and grandkids and a fulfilling life. But I like to think that this little shout out with an audience of pregnant dads will give her a big old smile. Doug, that's Tilly Grundlehort.
Tilly Grundlehort.
She heard it and DM'd me and said, "Thank you so much. My friends heard me. Heard you talk about me on the air."
There you go, Doug. Joan Wanderseed.
Nice, Joan.
And finally, sorry I'm late. I took too long of a break. I'm taking longer breaks this week because last week I was getting back too early from break, and I would rather be late than be early and have to sit here doing nothing for 2 minutes. I love how bent on his shape Jackson got yesterday in defending the integrity of the Shishawali Listener of the Month competition. I will point out the January winner was Tiny Peepee, who doesn't even participate in TMA, but is very active in the Balloon Party YouTube chat. Not to be confused with Don Peepee, the TMA YouTube commenter, Tiny Peepee, has since revealed himself to be the guy behind the Balloon Party fan page and has posted multiple 20-minute cringeworthy videos on the TMA fan page where he pounds Ice House beer. And rambles incoherently about a variety of topics, including but not limited to the Supreme Court. The most recent video got 1 like, 1 wow emoji, and 117 comments, including a got a live one here. Creepy. And get this mother effer off the air. And how much glue did you huff before hitting record on your phone? Look, I know about the show. Unlike Stephen Wildwood, you would think after all the years of listening to the show, he would get it by now. Oh, Doug, you were listening to the show in the car in Tampa. Can you pick up the signal down there? What's a Bluetooth? Oh, you want to talk coffee shops? Just because Steve bought me coffee doesn't mean he gets the show. Oh, he was referencing my suggestion that Brianna Coppage open a coffee shop where all the sexually repressed sads could bop on over and creep on her in person, then stalk her for hours on end as they pretend to write their novels, all while spending less than $10 on coffee and snacks. You see, coffee shops are a growth industry, not all saturated in this market. It's a solid idea. Very ludicrous. Buck Swope.
Oh, Buck Swope with a nice little email this morning.
For the Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day.
Whew, there were some good ones there. I thought the best were Blueberry Pop Pop and Tilly Grundlehort. I'm going to vote for Tilly Grundlehort. Tilly Grundlehort.
Wow. Because I got it between Blueberry Pop Pop and Kevin Miller.
I couldn't even tell which one was Kevin Miller.
Yeah, the first one.
Bushy. And Vince's dad.
Oh, okay.
Bushy gay tendencies. Even though it was about me and it was a bunch of lies, it made me laugh. I'm going to go with Blueberry Pop Pop.
I'm going to go with Kevin Miller.
Yeah.
Boy, we're wide open here.
Plowhawk, huge moment.
I'll go with Pop Pop.
Pop Pop continues the streak.
Damn it, Lucas.
Continues
That was a really
the
good
streak.
email. It was a good
Blueberry
email.
Pop Pop has shifted again. And Blueberry Pop Pop has now won all 4 Email of the Day competitions in the month of March. Could we be witnessing history, Doug?
Well, yes, if he wins every day of the month.
I don't think anybody's won the first 4 days of the month.
Is this the longest winning streak of all time?
My goodness.
It's the first one to start the month. Winning
No,
streak.
Chippity Bop Bop. That was when Tim was gone, obviously.
I don't know about that.
Yeah. Those won a lot.
Well, either way, congratulations to Pop Pop. You've won another Design Air Heating and Cooling email of the day. Jackson and I have won because we're about to go do a balloon party. Doug's got a sound story. Then Randy Character's got a sound story. You can get your sound story at mysoundstory.com. Time for us to shut it down for the Plock, for Action Jackson, for Kenneth Thinky Stroh, for my brother Kevin, for Douglas Elvin Vaughn, and Tim McCurdy. This has been the Morning After, presented by Brown and Crouppen.